Welcome to the What If Tournament Round 6. This is a basically tournament of what ifs that y'all have sent in that will be going against each other. For this round, we have Master Chief, Crash and RWBY versus what if Master Chief, transported to My Hero. Make sure to like, subscribe, and thank the two people that sent in these what ifs. They'll be in the description. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that. We'll be starting off with Master Chief. Hopefully y'all enjoy. Let's get started. What if Master Chief crashed into RWBY? Trailer. Chief, what is it, Cortana? We're currently going down. Why are you not evacuating? This ship has important documents and files. Normally I would evacuate as well, but there are some things we need from the ship's database. As they're, crashing down, supposedly heading towards a planet. This is where we'd see a Covenant ship where one of the Covenant elite commanders would be saying, "Fire the experimental weapon." "But sir, it's still in its testing phase." "I said fire the weapon." Alright, as they seemingly charge a cannon, as they would blast it, and seemingly make a black hole of sorts in front of the ship, causing the front part where Master Chief is to, seemingly disappear, as the ship would appear in the upper atmosphere of RWBY's world, as it would start coming down, as it would crash land. As Master Chief would course his head in one of the glasses, it mysteriously crashes as he's holding on to something. As you get up, Cortana, where are we? Scanning. No signature or identification where we are, Master Chief. As he looks out the window and he sees plants. Well, there's obviously wildlife here. As he grabs his shotgun. Can you give me the coordinates of where we are? Coordinates not found on the UNSC Infinity's database. As he walks out and looks into the forest, it looks like we're going to have to find a communication relay. And that is the end of the trailer for What If Master Chief was in, or crashed in RWBY. Make sure to like and subscribe for more. What if Master Chief crashed in RWBY, Part 1. As Master Chief had just walked out. Cortana, have you managed to pinpoint our location? We're in some sort of forest, Master Chief. I'm not picking up any signal. Where's the nearest place we can possibly find, signal to replay back to the forces, of course? Scanning. I can't scan anything nearby that's able to transmit a communication back to headquarters. Very well, Cortana. I do scan, and it seems there be a village nearby. Let me grab a few things before we move out. Master Chief would go back into the UNSC Infinity to gather supplies. As we go, as several, planes and ships from RWBY are currently making their way, as they have several, Atlas robots, and a mech. As it's basically 3 planes, housing about roughly 16 robots in each, one carrying a mech with a few more as well. As their information is being shown on their scanners of what to do. There's a crash site nearby. I need you to gather all the tech and intel as you can on this ship that crashed by. It doesn't seem to be anything we've seen before. Gather the materials, retrieve it back to headquarters immediately. As that's what the robot's orders were. As there's only one person in the mission and he's in the mech. As they reach the crash site, as there's not seeming to be a really good place for the mech to land, so it is currently going to the nearby abandoned town to land. As one of the ships drops off its robots. As the ships walk out towards the UNSC Infinity. Chief, we got company. What do you mean, Cortana? I scan at least 16 hostiles outside, preparing to enter the UNSC Infinity. As he loads his shotgun, as he currently walks towards it, as he knows that they're coming in and turning on their lights, looking around. They're machines. As then Master Chief keeps an eye out on them as they are just walking through. As two turn this way, he points his shotgun and shoots both of them, as it hitting them directly in the heads with a scatter shot, killing both the, robots. As of course the other ones notice it and make their way towards Master Chief, as he'd simply just run around a corner. As the robots come over and start scanning through the hallway, as all they see is sparking wires from the crash from in the hallway and slightly damaged boards, as they lower their guns as they start walking forward. As Master Chief is currently listening in, watching these robots move about. As one of them moves, he grabs one of them and just snaps its robot neck with his suit. As he moves forward, preparing his shotgun, as he starts to look at the other robots moving. As he grabs a grenade and rolls it down the hall, as it explodes, blowing up 4 robots. As, of course, the rest start to group up, leaving about a total of 9 robots. As they're sending data to the other team, which is currently on its way. Hostile in the unknown crashed aircraft, requesting, as then the robot saying the message gets shot by Master Chief's shotgun. As it falls over, as the rest of the robots look at the direction to see Master Chief as they start opening fire. As Master Chief would roll behind some cover. Cortana, how many of them are left? Currently 8 bogies, or robots. As he grabs another grenade, as he tosses it, as it hits one in the head, as it looks down at the grenade, as it blows the robot up, as the others start moving forward. As he looks and grabs a sheet metal right next to him, as he puts it in front of him, before tossing it, hitting one of the robots in the head as it starts tumbling around, firing randomly, hitting one of its allies. As the others start firing and make their way. He runs in as his shield is getting shot by the blasts, as he uses his shotgun to take down another one. As then he swings his shotgun, hitting another one in the head, causing it to break its screen, before it gets lit up by the one that's still shooting randomly because its visor's destroyed by the scrap metal in its head. As he slides over, how many are left? 4 making their way over to you. It seems like the other one that you threw the scrap metal into took down 1 or 2. Well, that was smart thinking. Master Chief. As Master Chief then just simply ducks before, hitting one of the robot's legs, causing it to fall over, as he then shoots it in the head. As then he would pull up with his shotgun, shooting one in the chest. As then the R2 robots start firing at Master Chief. As he raises the shotgun, as it gets shot, as he pulls out his pistol and shoots both of it in the head. As he walks towards them. As one of them seemingly is glitching and trying to grab its gun, as he fires once again, making sure it's down. As he goes over and grabs his shotgun. Cortana, can you tell me what these things are? They seem to be robots. Nothing like what we've encountered. In fact, they seem more low-tech than anything. As I'm going to connect you to their database. As he starts to connect one of them that's head still intact. It seems their mission is to gather information from this crash site. Seriously? Yes. And it seems that these robots weren't alone. There's another team on its way. Great, more enemies to deal with. I can't be so sure, Master Chief. I have no idea what these robots are, but they seem to be taking orders from someone. As then we go to the person in the mech. Squad 1, respond. Squad 1, respond. Squad 2, We're currently in the city, preparing to make our way over to the crash site. Where are you? Approaching the crash site now. We'll all be on our way. Stay outside the crash site. Observe. Cortana, are there any more of these robots in the area? There's currently another 16 outside the ship. They're currently scattered around the area, making sure all entrances are blocked off. So they plan to cut me off. 16, right? That is the exact number I've scanned. Yes, Master Chief. There seems to be more on the way, though. I intercepted one of their transmissions. It seems like the person that they're taking orders from is on their way. Noted. As he starts to... What do we have in the armory? As Master Chief starts to make his way towards the armory. Well, we do have a rocket launcher. As he just grabs the rocket launcher, as he puts it on his back. As he grabs one of the standard assault rifles. As he puts his shotgun on his back. Well, we better take care of, these things. As we go to, the mech and several robots that are making their way. As it's become nearly nightfall, as they're walking through the forest towards the site. Alright, we're close by. Squad 2, come in. And he doesn't get a response. Squad 2, come in. Robots, move ahead. Squad 2 is not responding. As we go to Master Chief, who had just finished with the Squad 2 robots. As it just kicked one of its heads. These things aren't as advanced as I thought. As then two robots appear on the screen and shoot Master Chief, hitting his shield in the back. As he would quickly turn around with his assault rifle and hit one, with gunfire going up, basically shooting it in a straight line upward, hitting it as it falls over, as Master Chief rolls behind a broken tree from the crash site, as the other robot starts to move in. Chief, we got a few more coming behind us. It seems they're trying to surround you. As he brings out a grenade, as he tosses it, as it lands at the robot's feet, as it blows up. Chief, as Master Chief then just drops his assault rifle, as he grabs his shotgun, then shoots the robot that appeared in front of him. As then he tosses its gun at the other robot, as he picks up his assault rifle and shoots it in the head. As he grabs his shotgun before putting it back on its back. Where's the rest of them? There seems to be a few more. And one big one. I can't identify it. But they seem to be heading this way. Alright. Can you try to hack into their transmission? I'll try, but all responses have been futile so far. This technology is very different from the one we're used to. Alright. I'm counting on you, Cortana. Don't worry, Master Chief. I've got this. As the mech starts to move forward, as they've nearly reached the site with the remaining robots by its side. As the robots are currently showing their weaponry, looking around. As Master Chief then sees the mech. As he pulls out his just assault rifle, as he aims. As then suddenly its scanners pick up Master Chief. We've got an enemy on the right. As several of the robots point and start shooting that direction. As Master Chief ducks down behind the log he was hiding behind. What was that? It seems that thing has advanced scanners. Apparently it picked you up. By my estimate, they were using some sort of thermal scanning imaging device. As the thing is currently scanning and locking on as Master Chief's on the move. Can you change the suit's mechanics to make sure I don't come up on thermal? We're already on it, Master Chief. As the robots start following, as Master Chief points his shotgun behind, shoots, hitting one of the robots, causing it to fall back. As the other robots start to shoot. As the mech starts to open fire, hitting one of his own robots in the crossfire, but also shooting at Master Chief as he ducks behind a log as the gunfire had just tore through the two trees by Master Chief. As he prepares a rocket to launch, Master Chief is about to launch a rocket. As Master Chief rolls out of the way as a rocket was launched and hits there, as it signals the other robots to move in. As the robots approach where Master Chief was, as they turn around the corner and they don't see Master Chief. As then, suddenly, the thermal's no longer working. He vanished. Did I get him? As the mech starts to look around, he's not approaching on my thermal scanners. Back to the main objective. As the robots start to move towards the ship, as one of the robots falling behind then just gets grabbed by Master Chief, as its, head was beaten in with his gun, as he starts to follow the robots and the mech. As then he grabs his rocket launcher as he fires it at the mech, hitting it in the back, causing it to stumble forward a bit. As he starts to look, what hit me? It was obviously explosive. It turns around and just starts opening fire. As he's currently looking at his thermal scanners but can't see nothing. Is it a faunus? Robots, we have an enemy. Keep looking. As the robots start to fan out, as Master Chief would pick the robots off one by one. As then the mech would just go in a blind fire and would just fire both directions, trying to clear out the land to see Master Chief. As Master Chief jumps off a branch and is on the mech's back, as it tries to use its arms to grab him. But as he just starts to open fire in one of the opening spots on its arm, causing the arm to detach. As he starts to fire at its own back, trying to hit Master Chief. As then suddenly the mech would power down. What happened? As he starts to hit on the scanners. I can't see anything. I can't even move. Did he hit the power core? No. Everything's intact still. As then Cortana would appear on the screen. So this is what your technology is. It's going to take some time for me to adapt, but it isn't that too advanced. As the guy's like, who are you? As then, oh right, Chief. As then the sitting part where he would sit in opens up as Master Chief grabs him. Who are you and where are we? What are you talking about? I'm from Atlas. Atlas? Yeah, I was assigned here. We were heading towards Beacon when we got a unqualified crash site. We came over to make sure it wasn't one of our enemies, or it wasn't a Grim attack. I assumed some Grim or someone was attacking our, robots when I sent them there. I'm only doing my job. As he tosses him towards a tree. What are Grim? Grim are creatures of dread darkness. Hunters and huntresses hunt them down. We're just the main security. And there's a white thing that goes after a lot of shipments of dust. As Cortana, I'm currently going through this guy's mech's database. Dust seems to be a sort of magic in this world, Chief. Magic, you say? Yes, it looks like it's weaponized. I see. What are Grim? Currently going through the database about that as well, Master Chief. Master Chief? Who are you the chief of? I'm from the UNSC. The what? We don't have anything like that here. Really? As Cortana then... Chief, do you mind, canceling off your external talking of the suit? So he doesn't listen in. Sure thing, Cortana. As he then cuts off, him speaking out of the suit. What is it? This world doesn't seem advanced enough to have at least space technology. Wherever we are definitely far out of wherever the Covenant and the UNSC operates. We're either entirely in speculation, another dimension, or we're in a planet that is too far out from the war of the UNSC and the Covenant. Although their technology is advanced to a certain degree, they have not focused in space travel. I see. What about the Grim he was talking about? creatures of darkness from when I've got the report, but basically, other than that, nothing. As then, he then, puts on his talking so he can talk to the man again. Very well. Is that all you know? Yes. Where's Beacon? Walking, it'll take you a few days, but I'll point you in the right direction, as he just points in the direction. Thank you very much. As then Master Chief knocks him out as he's laid against a tree. And we'll give this guy a name. We'll call him Jeff. As Jeff was just left to be laying against a tree. As Master Chief would make his way towards, the direction of where Beacon is supposedly supposed to be. Make sure to like and subscribe for more. What if Master Chief crashed in RWBY? Part 2. As Master Chief is on his way towards Beacon. As he's just come out of the forest, as he's come across some old ruins. Cortana, scan the area. On it, Master Chief. These seems to be buildings similar to the ones we're used to back on our world. But, again, not as highly advanced. Cortana, can you answer me this question? What did the man mean by magic? It looks like magic is the thing that they use to fight off these creatures called Grimm, from the character that we, interrogated earlier. I suggest we keep an eye out for these Grimm. Maybe they are a threat. And maybe this is why they have not evolved into outer space travel. We need to find a way to communicate with the UNSC. Well, with the technology we have and the supplies that we currently have, there's no current way to contact them. The best way is to go to a place that has a lot more advanced technology for us to utilize. Maybe this Beacon place can help us. Very well. As Master Chief is walking down the street. Chief, I currently am detecting a lot of heat signatures near your area, approaching fast. I noticed them too, as rubble herds falling over, as black figures are reeking out in the ruins. As Master Chief prepares his shotgun, as a creature just jumps out through behind a rubble and jumps towards Master Chief, as he quickly points his shotgun, shooting the Grimm in the head, as two more appear behind him. As he rolls forward, points his gun at one, and shoots it in the head, as the other one grabs Master Chief's gun as he punches the Grimm in the face before spin-kicking it into a wall before shooting it in the head. As several Grimm are on their way from the herd of the shotgun shells. Chief, we got a few more behind you. As Master Chief turns around his shotgun, he sees that about 4 Grimm are on their way. As he puts the shotgun on his back, as one of the Grimm jump towards him, as Master Chief dodges, as another Grimm launches itself towards Master Chief. As he sidesteps before punching the Grimm in the face, as the one that got behind him tries to claw, as Master Chief grabs its arm before flipping the Grimm over and kicking its head in. As Chief, above you, as Master Chief will quickly grab his shotgun before pointing it upward and shoot at the Grimm's head, before rolling out of the way of its body. As the other 2 Grimm surround him. So how do we want to do this? Activate shield, Cortana. As both of them launch towards Master Chief, as a shield would occur around Master Chief, blocking the Grimm attack, as they look confused, as Master Chief takes the opportunity to pull out his pistol and shoot both the Grimm in the head. Targets eliminated. Any more signatures in the area? I'm picking up 4 heat signatures. By analysis, they seem to be human. Although one of them is different than the others. They're currently a few miles south of here. Very well. Maybe they can help us understand more about this place. that would be a wise decision. Cortana, do you have any other information about these Grimm? As he looks at the Grimm's bodies. Take it in DNA analysis. I'll have to scan for any traces of energy. Maybe these are a new type of weapon. As Master Chief gets down before taking a blood sample of one of the Grimm, it'll take a little while to decrypt the blood DNA, but it may take some time. I'll wait for that report. Anyway, let's get moving. As he makes his way towards the direction of Ruby's team. As he's about to go introduce, he knows that Ruby is wandering around. Didn't you say there were at least 5? 4 to 5 people, correct, sir? I see one of them. That's just a kid. As she's currently going underground, as Master Chief had seen her fall through a hole in the ground. As Master Chief would run towards the edge. As Ruby would see the train being loaded by the White Fang and all that. As same thing, like a few White Fang members found her. But this time, Master Chief jumps down before, well, basically stomping on both of the 2 White Fang members. As Ruby turns around, thank you for your assistance. No problem. Where are we? This is an old city that was overrun by Grimm. Grimm. I assume those monsters I fought up there. As Ruby starts to, well, idolize the armor and try to figure out what it's made of, as Ruby really likes weapons. As Master Chief says, can you give me more information about this group? They're the White Fang. They are currently stealing dust and all that. But whatever they're loading onto that train is not good. I guess we'll have to stop them then. As Master Chief would follow Ruby, as the same thing would happen until they get on the train. As Master Chief gets on a car full of White Fang members. As Master Chief, I suggest not killing them, as we do not know the rules of this world. As he puts his gun away and just has his fists ready to fight, as several White Fang members start to charge at him, as one would throw a right hook, as Master Chief would duck before punching one in the face, before spinning around, kicking another White Fang member, as one of them picked up like a chair, as he starts to swing it towards Master Chief, as Master Chief grabs it before punching him in the face and throwing a chair at another White Fang member, causing him to do a backflip. As 3 of them, well, grab Master Chief, as he would then just knee 2 of them in the necks, knocking them out, before lifting the other one and suplexing him. As then that's leaving about 10 more White Fang members. As Master Chief pulls out his pistol as he starts to fire, as they take cover behind some equipment. Can a stun grenade work? Yes, a stun grenade should knock them out. As Master Chief grabs a stun grenade, as he tosses it, as this causes about 5 of them to get shocked by the stun grenade, as 2 White Fang members start shooting, well, their guns, and Master Chief, which doesn't even get through the armor. As Master Chief runs towards the 2 White Fang members before hitting them both in the face, as in the last 3 would just start to rush towards him. One throws a fist hitting the helmet as it holds his hand. What is that made of? As Master Chief would just headbutt him as he'd fall backward. As one of them tries to slash at Master Chief's armor as the sword breaks. This was an heirloom, as Master Chief would grab the sword before plunging into his knee, before uppercutting him, sending him flying back. As the last guy would just back up. As Master Chief would approach, boo, as the man would just fall over, unconscious. Where's this train going? I do not have enough information, but due to the details, we seem to be going to a city. As then, Master Chief hears explosions. What was that? As he sticks his head out of the train car, seeing that the other cars are exploding. As he takes a look at the well, crate in the middle of the train cart. As he looks at it, it's a bomb. What shall we do with it? As Master Chief looks out of the cart one more time to see Grim. As Master Chief would open the car door to the next train, as he would jump onto the back of the next cart, as he would aim his shotgun at the, well, thing holding the train cars together. You're not telling me you're about to do what I think you're about to do, Master Chief. Of course. As he then blasts the train car, as the train car slows down and goes back and blows up, killing several Grim. So when the train car Master Chief blows up, he, well, just rolls off the train car into the debris, which would leave a hole into the city near Beacon. But there would be a little bit more less Grim because Master Chief had sent a train car backwards by detaching it, blowing up a few Grim. As Master Chief lifts up some of the rubble, as he notices a giant snake Grim coming towards him, as he grabs both of the fangs as he's pushed above ground. Master Chief, the bike grip is currently struggling on the armor just a little bit. As Master Chief then holds his one hand onto the top of the snake while he reaches into his pocket to grab a grenade as he throws it down the snake's throat. As he jumps out of the snake's grip, as the snake would then blow up. And this is where the backup from Beacon would arrive, the teachers and all that. As Master Chief would be firing at the Grim left and right, helping clear out the area. As the students and the teacher thought he was just another hunter. As Master Chief would just keep on mowing down the Grim with his skills. As he would get up and go back down to, well, the last train car that was still intact, to look for something, anything that can give him information. As he just picks up a white fang mask, as he just looks at it. Can you give me any information on the white fang, Cortana? From the data I've managed to get from the mech and the database that I've been able to get into, the White Fang seems to be a terrorist organization of Faunus. Faunus? They are half-human, half-animal creatures. Interesting. As Ruby would have been telling, well, her team about Master Chief and all that, as Master Chief would come towards, well, I can never remember that one teacher's name, but I'll know next story. As he goes over to the teacher and the team. Excuse me, miss. I'd like to go to Beacon real quick. I need to gather and talk about some information. Oh, you must be a hunter that helped out with the attack. Thank you for your assistance. I'll take care of the repairs and all that myself. As Master Chief just nods, as he's going with the flow as seeming as a hunter. As he would get on the flight back to Beacon. As Ruby would be still amazed about his armor. As Yang, so you're the hunter that helped us out. Thanks. Simply doing my job. As Cortana would appear out. Yeah, continue doing your job. Like, you need to stop jumping from high places, you know. As this was caught Ruby by surprise. Is that an AI? Why, yes, I'm Cortana, Master Chief's personal AI. As Ruby has sparkles in her eyes. So what can you do? I currently keep most of the functions of Master Chief's suit up and running, as well as a companion on his adventures. As Weiss would ask, how'd you get that thing developed? Who made it? That is classified information, I'm afraid. That must not be disclosed. As it's a secret for the UNSC, not everyone can know that. As Blake asks, How long were you here? Comment. What do you mean by that? You obviously had been following us for at least a little bit. I'm guessing with your ears that you knew. As this caused Blake by surprise, as she had the bow on. Surprising the team as well. It was obvious. My suit can scan as well. Only certain areas, though. I know very little about this part of the country, as he's basically making his own story as he has no idea where he is, and doesn't know these people and know the government's intentions. So he doesn't want to disclose too much information. But all he knows, he needs to get back to his either world or back to the UNSC. As the ship would land at Beacon, as Master Chief would get off the plane and see Beacon. And that is the end of part 2 of What If Master Chief Crashed in RWBY. Make sure to like and subscribe for more. Master Chief Crashed in RWBY. Part 3, Welcome to Beacon. As Master Chief had arrived at Beacon, Asia walks and looks around the school. Judging by the design, Master Chief, this was based off some old technology as a little bit of advanced. They also have holopads and all that, similar to our technology as well, but used in different things. They're advanced, but they've not dedicated anything to type of space travel. So like long-distance communication to the other worlds is strictly off limits for now. As he puts his hand to his helmet, got that, Cortana. Can you give me a layout of Beacon? I would need to get into Beacon's system, so you're going to need to find a computer or something like that. Very well. As he's currently walking towards the Beacon gate. As we go to Ozpin in his office, as he's taking a sip of his coffee. Delicious coffee in the morning. Who might you be? As he sees Master Chief from his window, all the way down there on the ground. You're no hunter I've ever seen. As we go to Master Chief, as he walks in, this place looks like a school. As Master Chief went to the library to look at one of the computers, as Cortana would be hooked up, Master Chief, this apparently is a school for hunters and huntresses to fight the Grim, as they have built their own weapons, and there's a thing called aura in this world. Aura? Apparently, it protects you against mostly damage. The more you take, the less aura you have. That would explain why some of the people here got back up after I struck them a few times. Apparently so, although it seems weapons can still affect if they don't have enough aura. So I could have killed them if I didn't hold back. You could have possibly killed the, fondest people on that train. Theoretically, yes. Question, is there a way for me to learn about this aura? No, it seems to be native to the people on this planet. It seems like outsiders cannot really learn aura, for the most part. It's theoretically possible, but for an outside person it may take a couple of years. We don't have a couple of years. The Covenant could attack again. We don't have time. We need to find a way back. As someone comes up behind him. Hello, sir. You're obviously not from around here. As Master Chief would look back, as it's Ozpin. How about you follow me to my office? As Master Chief asks, who are you? I am the headmaster of this school, and I would like to ask you a few questions. As Cortana asks, it's probably best we go with him. Maybe he can give us some answers. as Master Chief would follow Ozpin to his office. As Ozpin would sit down as he would take a drink of his coffee. "Would you like some coffee?" As Master Chief says, "No." "Suits yourself." "You're not from around here, are you?" "I'm not." "I have not seen you around here at all, and that armor is interesting. Did you make it yourself?" "No." "Very well. May I know where you're from?" As Master Chief doesn't really know if he can trust Ozpin. As Cortana appears, he seems like a trustworthy person, although there are a lot of holes in your background. Ozpin. "An AI. I haven't seen one of them at all before. Anyway, please tell me, what's your name?" "My name is Cortana. Me and the chief here are trying to look for a way back to the UNSC. The UNSC, I've never heard of it. We're not from this world. Or from this planet." As Ozpin raises an eyebrow, "You're saying that you're not from this planet? We crashed here on one of my vessels." "So you spacecraft crashed on this planet, and you were stranded?" "Yes." "That's believable." "Most people wouldn't believe such a story," Cortana would say. "I have been running this school, and I've seen a bunch of things throughout my time. From Grim attacking to Grim taking flight to other things." He takes a sip of his coffee. "But I have to say," as he puts his cane down, "you two are the first I've heard to come from outer space. But it doesn't surprise me. Can you help us find a way off this planet?" "As you probably guessed, we do not have the technology for space travel." "Yes, I've done a research through this system, and also went through files. You seem to have access to a lot of stuff." "Yes, I've managed to get through the database of nearly the entirety of Beacon. The only thing that I have not managed to get into is your central computer." "Pretty smart AI." "Yes, that's because it's cut off from the central school information." He takes another sip of his coffee. "How about this? Until we find a way for you to go back home, or back to your world, you stay at Beacon. I can set up a room for you immediately. Before you do, there's a gracious offer. Can you tell me more about the Grimm?" "Ah, the Grimm. The Grimm are creatures of darkness. They feed off fear. They sense it. They loathe in it. They go to places with a lot of it. They attack villages, towns, cities. The hunters and huntresses do their jobs to keep them at bay. There are powerful Grimm and there are weak Grimm." "What about that student? The one with the scythe?" "RWBY? She's not like the other students." "How can you tell?" "She's younger, for one." "Ah, her age. She's very skilled with weapons. I decided to bring her aboard 2 years early. My choice." "That is probably not the only reason you did so." As Ozpin raises an eyebrow, "How can you tell?" "There's something else about the girl." Something felt off. "I don't see people with that type of eye color. Pure silver." As Ozpin raises an eyebrow, "You noticed. So what is the meaning of silver eyes?" "Oh, it's just a very rare occurrence of people. Nothing you need to concern yourself about. Now, I will have a room set up for you momentarily. Feel free to roam around Beacon at the time being. Very well, as Master Chief gets up and leaves. As Cortana speaks to Master Chief, he was obviously lying about the silver eyes. They must have some sort of purpose. Yes. As Master Chief starts to roam the school. Cortana, have you found anything else? I did find a thing called a semblance when going through the database. It seems like special abilities they're gifted with. It varies from person to person. Could be speed, it could be cloning, it could be theoretically anything. Again, only native to a very select few. I'm guessing they are hunters and huntresses. And only the skilled of the skilled have unlocked them, apparently. From just the database reports that I've been reading. Do research on the Silver Eyes. It seems all of the files on the Silver Eyes are considered classified or in very high security. Normally I could easily break through this, but it seems like the documents themselves have been erased. As Master Chief stops, what do you mean erased? It means someone went in and erased the data themselves. My guess, about 10 years ago. As Master Chief proceeds to walk. As he would walk towards the dorm area, as he would walk past some students. A yellow-haired boy. As John would ask, "Who are you?" as he was just walking by. "Oh, I'm just a new hunter around here." "This is the dorm area, correct?" "Yes." "Can you show me to such and such room?" "Sure thing, follow me." As John would show Master Chief to his room. As Master Chief would walk in before sitting on the bed. Cortana. As Cortana would appear in front of Master Chief. "Yes, Chief?" "What's the likelihood of us returning to the UNSC anytime soon?" As Cortana would put her hand to her chin. "If I had to guess, it was going to take us about probably a month to maybe a year. Most likely a year before we figure a way back to outer space." "That's too long. The war could be over by then." "Yes, I know, Master Chief, but there's nothing we can do, as we are stranded on this planet with no way of escape. There doesn't seem to be any ships we can take to outer space that would survive exiting the atmosphere. And for some reason, these Grimm are native to this planet, and the results that DNA you had me scan earlier came in. They seem to be made of the same substance as this magic dust that we heard about. I took a sample of it while we were scrounging around that mech. It seems that they have similar qualities of magic, although each holding a different purpose. The Grimm are more lively and dark, as depending on the element of dust is the elemental power given. But I can't confirm what the Grimm are truly made of. I do not have that in my database. We'll need to do research on all types of Grimm to get an understanding. We need to know what we're up against, and how long we're going to be here." "Very well, Master Chief. I'll keep diving into this work. You should get some rest. You haven't really slept in the past few days." As Cortana would just go back into the helmet. As he would lay down. As that's the end of part 3 of What If Master Chief Crashed in RWBY. What If Master Chief Crashed in RWBY? Part 4, The Fall of Beacon. It's been a few days since Master Chief arrived in Beacon, as he's currently just looking out into a forest. observing the area, contemplating. Master Chief, why are you looking out into the forest? I've been thinking. This place is a lot more peaceful than the current battle with the Covenant. That is true, but with these creatures like the Grimm, these people are fighting their own battle. And we have our own battle to fight as well. We cannot stay here and fight with the affairs of a planet we are not aware of. I'm aware of that. As soon as we find a vessel out of here, we shall take it. In fact, I think I know where one is. Atlas. There should be a vehicle that should get us off-world there. It's one of the most high-tech places on the entire world. As soon as we arrive there, we should be able to get a, well, supposedly vehicle into the sky, which should give us enough distance to return to the UNSC. Very well. As Master Chief would walk back towards, well, Beacon, as he would notice a sign up, a tournament, as then he would see one of the students. Excuse me, does it happen to be Ren? Yes. What's this about? Oh, it's the tournament that Beacon holds, or one of the 3 big schools hold every year. This year it's at Beacon. It's a tournament where the best fighters from each school come and compete. As Master Chief looks at it, it may be interesting to observe these matches. As he would put it into his pocket, as he would walk back to his room. As we skip about a few days to the tournament events, as he would watch Ruby's teams and Juniper's team and the events go by, he would notice some things that were off. He would hear about Roman Torchwick getting captured and all that, but Master Chief felt like there was something off. As Master Chief noticed that Ozpin and a few others were not around, which seemed odd since they should be supervising the events. So Master Chief thought it was wise to go back to the school. Cortana, I sense something's off. So do I. As then, Cortana would say, look in the sky. As suddenly a lot of bird Grimm are flying overhead. Grimm? As then, Master Chief would notice fighting as White Fang happened to have entered the school. As Master Chief would run over, as he reaches his back for his weapon, but he doesn't have it as it's in his dorm. I need my weapons. As a few of the White Fangs start to shoot at Master Chief, as he would just run towards them, as he would sock one White Fang member in the face. As he would grab another's arm before flipping him to the ground. Master Chief, behind you. As a small Grimm just tries to leap at Master Chief. As he would just duck before kicking it into the ceiling, grabbing it, and as it moves it to the ground and squishing its vocal cord, basically killing the Grimm. As Master Chief reaches for his pocket, as he pulls out his pistol, as he shoots at the White Fang members that are just around. As he would notice a few students, as he would say, this way. As he would be helping the students evacuate. As he had helped them to a huntress, as he went back to his dorm to grab his weapons. As he had grabbed a shotgun and loaded it, as suddenly a bird Grimm just flies through the dorm room he was in, grabbing his armor, flying him in the air. As Master Chief would shoot the bird Grimm's stomach, causing the Grimm to let go and crash into a building. As he would roll, as then he would know fire, and then he would hear a scream from the library. As he would run over, as he would see Adam had just, severed Yang's hand. As he would shoot towards Adam, as he would use his, sword to block the bullets. This is none of your concern. As he rushes over towards Master Chief. As Master Chief raises his shotgun as Adam splits it in half. As Adam's about to slice at Master Chief's armor, he pulls up one of his arm, which stops the sword, but surprisingly leaves a dent mark into the Master Chief's armor. As Master Chief punches Adam back. You managed to block that. As he's about to continue, as he notices that the grim and the fire is getting outrageous. Master Chief tells Blake to get Yang out of there. As Master Chief would walk out, as he would notice several grim heading towards it. Cortana, scan the area. We have several grim coming from all directions. We must buy time for the rest to escape. As then suddenly a huge light just fills the entire sky as Master Chief covers, his helmet. As he looks up, as he noticed the big grim that was on top of Beacon is just turned to stone. What happened? I don't know. Calculating right now. As then Master Chief would duck as a grim just came flying behind him. As he would shoot with his pistol. As he would look at 2 mags left. Master Chief, we're currently low on ammo. I've noticed, Cortana. As the Grim just start piling towards Master Chief. As then he noticed some structures that are unstable. As he would run, as several of the Grim would follow him, like an elephant Grim. As he would just run towards a pillar before punching it, causing it to fall over on several Grim, crushing them. As the fight would go on, as Master Chief would fight through the Grim, left and right, making a few safe areas for students to evacuate. As Master Chief is, taking down a whole bunch of Grim. As he's standing over the rubble of an old area. Master Chief, your energy is currently running at 25% for the armor. We can't keep fighting with the weaponry we have now. Normally, we would grab an enemy's weapon and use it against them, but these creatures are, not exactly enemies with weapons we can utilize. As Master Chief's armor is a bit damaged from the fighting. Notice Cortana. Find the nearest escape route. It seems like most of the planes left a few hours ago. It seems that their evacuation of Beacon is pretty much done. As a huge Grim starts stomping his way towards Master Chief. As Master Chief would notice this before jumping on the tusks of a elephant Grim as it's charging towards a wall. As Master Chief notices, as he gets on to the elephant's Grim back as it starts going through a wall. As he's holding on, as he fires a whole clip from his pistol into the back of the elephant Grim before leading it into another wall as the ceiling collapses. As Master Chief removes the rubble. Shields are currently at 10% now, Master Chief. I suggest we find a way out. As Master Chief makes his way over towards a seemingly last working plane. As he would get on the plane. As he would make towards the pilot seat, as he noticed that someone's there. Oh, you must be someone. I thought everyone else evacuated. I was just about to get out of here myself. Get us out of here. As he looks at Master Chief, which has a bunch of damages, armor dents, from seemingly the battle he's been fighting. Alright, I will get us out of here now, as the plane starts to lift off, as a bird Grim starts to make his way towards. As Master Chief would notice a weapon, as he would grab it before leaning out the back of the plane, and then just shooting the machine gun, causing the Crow Grim to go off course. Get out of here now, I'll cover. As the guy would fly the plane straight out, leaving Beacon. Whew. That was a close one. I need you to take me to this place. Called Atlas. Atlas? Sorry, but that is several miles away. There's no way we're getting there in time. It would take us about a month at most. Take me to Atlas immediately. We won't have the fuel to make it. We'll have to stop by and get some more fuel before then. Do so. As that is the end of What If Master Chief Crashed into RWBY Fall of Beacon. Make sure to like and subscribe for more. What if Master Chief crashed in RWBY? The last part, the fight with the Cyclops Grib. After the events of Beacon, he had taken a plane with this random pilot and were heading towards Atlas. As they're moving towards Atlas because they had information that there was possibly a way to contact or even go to outer space from Atlas because their technology is the most advanced. On their way, they suddenly get attacked. As Master Chief comes to the front, how long till we get to Atlas? Well, our current coordinates of the amount of fuel, we should be there in about a week. Assuming we don't have any trouble. Assuming. As he says that, a big bang is heard as the ship rotates, as the pilot just barely managed to get it right side up again, as apparently it did a whole wheel. It seems we're under attack. As Cortana says, I sense at least 7 signals outside the ship, Master Chief. As he grabs a shotgun and loads it. Alright. As he walks towards the back, as then another bang was heard, as the pilot looks out the window. Oh great, it's some wasp grims. Watch out for their stingers. I'll try to activate the pilot's, as he attempts to press a button for the defense mechanism on the ship, as then suddenly the guns in the front get destroyed by a wasp grim that's currently trying to break through the windshield. As the pilot is doing his best to try to keep the plane in control, as Master Chief shoots his shotgun, breaking the glass and also hitting the wasp grim in the head as it falls, as a lot of wind's blowing in, as the pilot's doing everything he can to get this on control. You're a hunter, right? As Master Chief just nods his head. Well, if you don't get rid of these guys soon, I don't think we're making it to Atlas. As the back of the plane starts to open, as a wasp grim takes this advance to try to, come aboard. As Master Chief shoots his shotgun, hitting the grim straight in the head as it falls out and falls down towards the ocean. As Master Chief walks to the edge of the plane, Chief, would it be wise to fight them from this distance? After all, you only have your shotgun and pistol. As Cortana, how far up are we? We're currently several altitudes above normal height. As Master Chief puts the shotgun on his back, as he goes to the front, as the pilot looks up, what are you doing up here? If you don't do anything, those Grim are going to tear the ship apart, to pieces even. As Master Chief just starts running before he jumps out of the back of the ship, as the pilot's like, what is he doing? As then Cortana, which hacked into the pilot, don't worry, the Chief will be fine. As Master Chief had jumped off and grabbed the back of one of the Wasp Grim, as he's currently using it to fly. As the Wasp Grim is trying to, shake Master Chief off, as he pulls his pistol as one of the Wasps try to fly towards him. As he shoots at it, grazing its armored scales, its armor. As it flies to sting, as Master Chief ducks down before grabbing its stinger, and then shooting the Wasp Grim he was flying on in the head before it falls down. As he's holding on to the Grim's stinger, as the Grim decides to wave its stinger around, trying to drop Master Chief. As Master Chief lets go before landing on another one. As he looks back, seeing that there were 3 other Grim. As then, Cortana said there were 7. As then, one of the Wasp Grim comes straight from above, trying to stab Master Chief. As Master Chief had just rolled to the right, just a little bit, to where the stinger went right through the middle of the Wasp Grim, causing it to fall in half. As, Master Chief started falling before one of the Wasp Grim starts to dive bomb for Master Chief. As he pulls out his shotgun and aims it at the Wasp Grim, as then he looks back down, as one of the Wasp Grim is coming up from exactly below him, and the last one is also heading towards it. As he just aims his shotgun sideways, as he shoots the shotgun, as the propulsion from the shotgun causes him just to go out of the direction of the two wasps, as they both hit their heads together, as Master Chief shoots again, sending him further back, but hitting both of the Grim Wasps in the head with the shotgun blast, causing them to both die. As the last Wasp Grim attempts to, grab Master Chief, which succeeds, as it's trying to bite, Master Chief's helmet, as it's not doing anything, as it starts to try to break through Master Chief's helmet. As then Master Chief just simply looks around, as he's just basically leading the Wasp Grim back towards the plane before unloading his pistol into the stomach of the Wasp Grim. As he then just really climbs out of the grip of the Wasp Grim, kicking it in the face before shooting it with his pistol in the head, causing it to fall, as he's on top of the plane. As the pilot just hears footsteps. Okay, it doesn't seem that we're being attacked anymore. All hostiles have been eliminated. As the pilot sighs, whew, at least I get to live another day. As then he knows something, as he looks out the broken window, as the wind is hitting his face, but he sees one of the engines are damaged. Great. As Master Chief had just gotten back inside, after doing a flip off the back of the plane, and into the bay, as he walks up front, hey, Chief, as Master Chief looks at the pilot, if we don't land somewhere for me to make repairs, we're never going to make it to Atlas. One of the planes is very damaged, or wings of the plane anyway. As Cortana proceeds to say, he's right. One of the wings got severely damaged, or at least the engine. If we don't take a stop, we will not make it to Atlas. Very well. Where's the nearest town? Let me see. As he's going through a map, old abandoned town, but there should be, looks like, some parts. Maybe we can find a hunter or two there. As he starts to fly it towards that direction. As we go skip about 2 hours as they arrive at the town. As the ship lands. Oh, alright. Let me just grab the equipment out here and I'll get working right on the ship. We should be able to go, if I work all night, in the morning. Allow me to help. As Master Chief helps in the repairs of the wing. As the pilot is roaming through his, parts. Okay. Where's the extra dust I had stored around here? That should be able to jumpstart this thing for us to take off. As he's looking for the dust, as Master Chief was just helping fix the engine, as he quickly grabs his shotgun before pointing it in the forest. You sure we're alone? As Cortana says, I don't detect any heat signatures or any life nearby. As Master Chief lowers his shotgun before looking around. Very well. As he walks back towards the pilot, here it is. As he sets a vial of dust down, and saying he's looking for another, a wrench. Yeah. Gotta say, maybe older, but these crescent wrenches do work a lot. As he sets the crescent wrench down, as Master Chief approaches, can you tell me about this place? Oh, this city? It got overrun by Grimm a couple years back. I don't know much about it. All I know, pilots just avoid it like the plague. Why? There's a reason pilots don't usually go on alone without at least an escort, or at least hunters aboard, in certain areas like these. The fact I'm doing this is because, you were aboard. You're a hunter, right? As Master Chief nods his head. And I have to head to Atlas because it's one of the most big cities, and where else am I going to get a good job? After all, with Beacon in shambles, my work was basically at Beacon. I was a pilot for the students, I was a pilot for the hunters. Really, I don't get paid if there's no one else to do business. So it was either Atlas or the other hunting school. I can never remember its name, but whatever. As he's searching back for more equipment, Why do y'all avoid this place like the plague for pilots? As Cortana also joins in. Yeah. Well, there were rumors of a flying grim. Deadly ones at that. We thought that it was true since a lot of planes went missing. But it might have just been the wasps, Grim, that you encountered. I can't be 100% sure, though. So keep your guard up. Also, I heard that there was a White Fang base here a few years back as well. But it said it fell when the town fell. There's so many rumors and so many, well, made-up stories. I don't know what's true and what's not anymore. Especially since I spent the last 2 days flying you all the way here. I'm exhausted. You get some rest. We can finish repairing the engine in the morning. Are you sure? Like, I can get it done tonight if need be. No. You did enough getting us this far. Get some rest. Alright. If you want to continue working on it, remember very important details. When you're done, you must power the dust into the engine. If you don't, this thing won't start up. As the man was holding his head, I'm going to get some shut-eye. As he basically just walks, well, into the bay, as he just lays down, as he had a blanket on board, so he uses the blanket, and he had his own pillow. Just a really soft, fluffy pillow. As he uses it. As we go back to Master Chief, as he's working on the engine, Cortana, can you close the docking bay? As Cortana closes the docking bay as she's controlling the plane somewhat, the windows seem to have already been repaired. He seems to know what he's doing, at least. Cortana tells Master Chief. I agree. Guess we're lucky we found that pilot. Especially after all the Grim you took down at Beacon. Yes, I'm aware. As he grabs his shotgun, as he takes a look at it, it seems like I'm almost out of ammo. Well, you could use their own weaponry. Maybe we can modify your weapon with their technology to use this dust. We could. But we need to be careful. We don't know what other creatures are in this world. As Cortana agrees, yes. And what's very peculiar is that the Grim, something I didn't tell you earlier, is that they're in an evolving state. What do you mean? The Grim have a chance to evolve. Although, it's very rare, but they can evolve to powerful forms. Only certain ones, though. It's only a theory. But from their genetic makeup, it seems they do. And they're also created out of fear, like the story you heard. From Ozpin, yes. As he just then starts using a crescent wrench to finally patch up the engine. There. All patched up. As then he looks out into the woods. Once more. As he grabs his pistol. What has you all riled up, Master Chief? Something just doesn't feel right around here. Something doesn't. As he then walks towards the tree line, as he opens it, as it's just seemingly just like a regular mouse or something. Must have been imagining it. As he walks back towards, well, the ship, as we see someone in a branch right above, as they wipe their head. That was close. Better report. As the man attempts to jump from a branch, is then when he gets hit in the back of the head, and falls out of the tree and into a trap. Which is a pit, by the way. As he wakes up, as his weapon is gone, as he looks up, it has only been an hour, as Master Chief's above the hole. You really didn't think I would notice you. As this happened to have been a reptile faunus with cold blood, so Cortana could not use thermal to determine his positioning, or know that he was around. Hence, being technically an invisible enemy to Cortana. But Master Chief's instinct told him that they were being watched and observed. What were you doing here, and why were you spying on us? As the man just keeps quiet, as the Master Chief shoots next to him. All right. I was spying for the White Fang. We have a little outpost here. Again, the name of the White Fang. Cortana, the White Fang seems to be a revolutionary group. You fought some of them at Beacon, remember? Right. As Master Chief, basically picks up the man out of the hole before setting him down and putting makeshift handcuffs, which is just literally a broken pieces of metal that he bent into handcuffs. So the man's hands are tied by literally metal that basically would need to be welded off, broken off, or just unbent by Master Chief. So tell me more. Why were you observing us? We're told to get all cargo from planes that land. We usually scavenge the broken planes that the Wasp Grim and other Grim take down. Is that Master Chief? What other flying Grim? There's a big nasty, I don't know if you heard of him, flying Grim around here. He tears things to pieces. He looks similar to a dragon, but yet doesn't. It's a type of bird with a very long, dragon type head. Tears down ships piece by piece. So far, no ship in the area has survived it. I wonder how you will do against it when you get that ship off the air. As Cortana then just makes herself visible, where is this thing and why didn't it attack us earlier? Simple. The thing sleeps during the day, and it hunts at night. We White Fang members stay in the outpost far north of here. Then what are you doing out so late? It doesn't really hunt one person at a time if you're alone in the forest. The other Grim tend to do that work. It prefers its prey in open fields, or even in the sky. It takes them down and devours them. It's a nasty beast. I gotta give it that. We were ordered never to set flight during night, and just observe. Is this why the town near here is basically abandoned? Pretty much. That and some other stories, I don't know. Well, you're going to help us. As Master Chief just lifts him up. How am I going to help you? Why don't you ask that? As he basically just lifts him up as they just see the big creature just fly overhead. As the man immediately gets scared. Where's the safest route to avoid him? Alright. If we take flight in the morning, we should be able to go, I guess, east from here. Out of its flight pattern. Good, you'll be coming with us. As he basically has him tied up and set into the plane. And we're just gonna call this guy, you know what, Larry. As Larry's basically just in the plane, knocked out. Now we skip to morning, when the pilot wakes up. As he stretches his neck, I gotta say, I got a good sleep. As he opens his eyes and he just sees a fawn is tied up, and he's like, okay, what happened? I caught this person that was just roaming around, spying on us. Oh, Chief, thanks. By the way, what's your name? Cortana asks. Oh, they call me Tom. I'm just simply new around, Beacon. I was, at least, before it was taken down, but no names are important, I guess. And why exactly are we taking him with us? Because there's a very big Grim that hunts planes in this area. As he looks at Larry, is that why all the planes have been going missing on the reports? As the faunus just simply nods. And why exactly do we need him for this? Because he can tell us the best direction to avoid it. As Tom just looks at Larry as he just nods. Okay, let me make sure that everything's done and we'll take off. As the man inspects the ship, make sure everything's okay before he opens the hood and just starts pouring the dust. Alright. Also, they fixed the windshield, by the way, after Master Chief had, well, basically shot through it. As they take off. Alright. Honestly, miracle we got this done in one night. You must have stayed up late, Master Chief. Get some rest. We should be at Beacon in, give or take a day or two. As they fly off towards Beacon, avoiding this flying Grimm's path. Or so they thought. The Grimm happened to have noticed the ship, but decided not to attack, as he did not know. Well, the Grimm is smarter than others. It didn't want to attack the ship on ground. It wanted to wait until it's in the air to where it has the advantage. So for the next 2 days, as they were traveling towards Atlas, this giant bird Grimm was following Master Chief's ship, and just staying out of distance to where Cortana could not detect it. Now, as they're getting close to Atlas, as the pilot, Tom, is just checking on everything. Okay, we should be in there, or we'll be there in a few hours, I guess. As he's just pressing some buttons. Alright, as he gets up, as it's on autopilot at the moment, before he walks to the back, as he knows that Larry's just sitting there. Why is he still here? We could have dropped him off at a town or something. We just need to bring him just in case, Master Chief says. Well, I put it on autopilot for the time being. I really hope we get there without any trouble, as the sun was just setting. As then a big roar was heard. Me and my big mouth. As the pilot immediately runs back to his seat before getting in it. As then Cortana just notifies Master Chief, Master Chief, we have a large object approaching behind us. As Master Chief tells the pilot, lower the back of the ship. As basically the ramp starts to lower. As we see this giant bird Grimm approaching at fast speeds towards the ship. As Larry looks at it before smiling, smarter than I thought. As Master Chief says, that thing's huge. How are we going to take it down? Well, we could possibly just try to disable his wings somehow. Very well. As Master Chief goes up front, Tom, do you have any other sorts of weapons on board? Well, I do have this one weapon left by a hunter a little while ago. It was old-fashioned, and he didn't seem to be using it anymore. There's a minigun in the back. As Master Chief just looks at him, who would leave a minigun on your ship? Don't ask me. It was some lunatic I drove about 2 months back. He insisted he left his minigun on this ship, saying he'll be back. So I kept to his word and kept the minigun. Honestly, it's just been mounted on the wall. I'm surprised you didn't notice it. I literally decorated the thing. It has like some old stickers from some old movies. I even painted it just blue and black. I do not need a description. As he goes to grab the minigun, where's all the ammo? Glove compartment 3. As Master Chief just opens glove compartment 3, as there is probably about 1,000 to 2,000 minigun bullets. As he loads the minigun, as he just looks out of the back, as the bird's Grimm's face is nearly very close towards the back of the ship, as Master Chief just starts to unload the minigun in the face of the Grimm, as its armor on its face keeps it protected, but it flies back to try to avoid the attack because it was irritating the Grimm. As it thrusts its wings forward, as it just sends like a gust of wind that causes the ship to rotate. This is going to be a bumpy ride, as the pilot just quickly swings the controls as they turn sideways, as Master Chief basically leans to the side, still firing the minigun out the back. Larry's strapped to a seat, well, stuck, and the bird Grim gets shot in the wing some. As it gets mad, then starts flying towards it. Cortana, what's the best choice of survival? I don't think the best choice is fighting it here. It has the advantage in the sky. As he looks back out, as it's no longer in sight. It's currently above us. As then the top of the ship has claws going through it. Hold on, I'm gonna try to get this thing to drop us. As the pilot is holding the controls very firmly as he's shaking. Okay, time for my own maneuver. As then he aims the ship forward, causing the bird to fly higher, and activates the thrusters at 100%, nearly sending Master Chief out the back, but a bunch of stuff starts falling out the back because it's open. As Master Chief's holding onto the back, what is he doing? As the bird Grim starts to freeze a little, as they're getting dangerous altitudes and several signals in the pilot's seat saying to stop and lower altitude, as he's ignoring the signs as they're going higher. As the Grim lets go because its wings started to freeze, as he then quickly dive bombs straight down to where the ship starts to get burn marks on the side. Hey, Master Chief, as they had straightened up, as he just get on his feet, you might want to get out of here. As, what do you mean? I'm not going to be able to control this thing for much longer. As Master Chief grabs Larry, as he's about to jump out, he knows that the Grim is still behind them. He didn't lose it. As the pilot gets out of his seat and heads towards the back, as Master Chief's like, how are we going to avoid this thing? As then he suddenly gets pushed by Tom, as Larry and Master Chief start to fall. Well, see you on the other side, as he aims the flare gun and shoots it right at the bird Grim's eye, as it gets burned just a little bit, as he then runs back to his seat. Now, as a burning and smoking ship is flying off in the distance, the Grim still proceeds to follow, as Master Chief and Cortana and Larry are falling from dangerous altitudes with no backpack, bear in mind, or parachute. As they're falling from these dangerous altitudes towards the bottom, the ground, he then noticed something that is on the back of Larry. As apparently, Tom, when he pushed them, had given or put a parachute on Larry's back. So Master Chief immediately pulls Larry's parachute, as his hands are still cuffed, by the way, and the man, Larry, has absolute terror in his eyes. He has watched Master Chief fight this bird Grim in the air with a minigun, then go up to dangerous altitudes, and then get pushed out of out of a plane, falling down pretty much to their demise. And now they're just slowly descending down to safety. As they land, as Master Chief looks back up, as the next thing they see is a huge explosion. And also the bird Grim falling out of the sky. To Tom's perspective. So what basically they saw was when he was leading the bird Grim away, he lifted the controls and aimed it straight towards the bird Grim's stomach, basically plunging the ship into the bird Grim's stomach. We didn't see anything else. As we go to Master Chief and Larry. Didn't even know him for more than about 3 days. He was very brave, Cortana says. Let's get to Atlas. How far is Atlas from here? Walking, maybe a day. With the plane, we would have been there in a few hours. As, note, Larry is still shaking. Master Chief still has a minigun, a shotgun on his back, and a pistol. Don't ask me how he managed to pull Larry's parachute while holding a minigun in one hand and them falling out of the atmosphere. He just did. As Master Chief decides to uncuff Larry to have him lead the way. As they are currently walking through a mountainous area. Alright, we should be heading towards Atlas, and we should be there within a few hours. Hopefully, if we take this shortcut through the mountain pass, we should be fine. After all, as we see Larry is still shaking. Man, that was frightening. Anyway, after all, these areas are usually cleared by hunters every now and then. We should be safe. You can tell with the stuttering in his voice and all that he is absolutely terrified. And shocked. After what he had experienced, well, basically nearly dying, like, 3 times. As they're walking through, as then suddenly as they're holding up against a side of a mountain just going, as he drops a rock, which would fall down and would slowly become a bigger rock. After hitting another rock and hitting another rock. And when it hit the bottom of the mountain, it hit someone in the eye. Alright, whew. We should be good. Let's head this way. As they basically get to the mountain's edge, and they see this big flying city, Atlas, at last, and a town below, if I remember, that's below Atlas, if I remember. Now, as they prepare to, well, head in that direction, a roar is heard. Master Chief says, I thought you said most of the Grimm here were eliminated. Yeah, they were. Or at least to my knowledge. As Master Chief looks back, as he just sees a giant Cyclops Grimm start to climb the mountain. We need to go. As he is holding the machine gun and running, as Larry is following behind. Alright, there should be a staircase, as Larry nearly just falls as Master Chief grabs the back of his shirt. Oh! As the staircase that was supposed to be in front of Larry happened to have been destroyed at the debris of the plane crash. And also, the bird Grimm. Okay, I don't know a safe way down. As the Cyclops had managed to turn its head, as you can all see the Cyclops' face, as this thing is huge. As its face is the only thing they see when it's turned the corner. As Master Chief starts to shoot, as none of the bullets pierce the head armor of the Cyclops. Nothing. As he's just firing every bullet as it reaches its hand, as Master Chief starts to shoot bullets at its hand. Noticing it's getting closer, ready to squish Larry and Master Chief. As Master Chief grabs Larry before just ducking and rolling down the mountainside. As a large screeching is heard from this Cyclops Grimm, who's making his way to the other side of the mountain. As they're rolling down the mountain, as both of them hit the back of the wing of the plane. As Larry's like, my back. As he looks back and forth, as he decides to book it out of there. As Master Chief gets up, as he sees the Cyclops just coming around the mountainside and swinging his wooden, club towards Master Chief. As then an unexpected something hits the Cyclops' club. The bird Grimm is still alive. As it hits the club, hitting the Cyclops in the head. As it falls back just a little bit. As a large bird noise is heard as the Grimm gets up, as it screeches. Oh, great. Master Chief, how are we going to get out of this one? As he starts to turn the corner, as he sees an unconscious Larry, and surprise, surprise, I didn't think I would see you again after that. As Tom had survived the crash somehow. How are you alive? Simply, I had set the thing to autopilot, pointed thrusters, jammed it into the stomach, grabbed my jetpack, as well as my parachute, jumped out, my parachute caught fire. I thought I was done for when I was falling to my demise, because my jetpack got hit by one of the parts of the plane. Next thing you notice, I landed in one of the crates that fell out of the back of the plane, and all I made out was a burn arm. Literally, he's a giant burn scar on his arm now. Also, I knocked him out because I noticed he was running. We need to get out of here. We should be able to make it to Atlas. Their defenses should help us. As he grabs Larry, as then the bird Grimm's body just comes flying as it rolls down the mountain as it was hit by the Cyclops club. You two go. As Master Chief just starts to shoot the minigun that he has back at the Cyclops, which is really annoying it, by the way. As it just starts to swing its club towards Master Chief, as he gets out of the way before holding on to the side of the club. As Tom and Larry are running, well, Tom is running for his life, carrying Larry on his back. Master Chief starts to climb, well, the club, as the bird Grimm goes straight for the Cyclops' head. The Cyclops grabs one of its talons before slamming the giant bird Grimm into the mountainside, before doing it repeatedly 3 times. While he's doing this, Master Chief is using a tactical knife to climb up the Cyclops Grimm. As the Cyclops notice these little little bits of pain as Master Chief is stabbing his way up the arm. As he knows, but as he's going back to swing his arm to squish Master Chief, it gets hit by the bird Grimm's beak, basically embedding into its left arm. As the Cyclops just headbutts the bird, causing it to fall back before lifting his club as Master Chief is steadily climbing the Cyclops. He is about to his shoulder. As it swings the club down before swinging repeatedly, nearly knocking Master Chief off the giant Cyclops. As Master Chief gets to his shoulder, as he pulls out a shotgun before running towards the Cyclops' head. As the arm is still swinging, as it's hit the bird Grimm 3 times, and that was enough to end the giant bird Grimm. As it turns its head towards Master Chief on its shoulder, he starts shooting his shotgun, as he had dropped the minigun when climbing, at the Cyclops' eye, as it starts to move its left arm to cover its eye because it just got shot. As Master Chief gets to the Cyclops' head, as he grabs a few grenades before tossing it into its mouth. As Master Chief jumps, the explosion blows off his head because he threw several grenades. So the Cyclops' head starts to fall over, and the body as well. As Master Chief falls before the armor hits several rocks, causing Master Chief to be knocked out. Then Master Chief wakes up, as apparently this was all a dream. And that is the end of the What If Master Chief crashed in RWBY. Make sure to like and subscribe. Hopefully y'all enjoyed. What If Master Chief crashed in RWBY. That one took quite a while to do. So hopefully y'all liked it. And again, thank you to the people that sent in send these ideas in. I appreciate it. I love doing it. So credits to them in the description. Now, moving on to what if RWBY crashed to My Hero or transported. I'm thinking of the previous series where we just watched what if Master Chief crashed in RWBY. Absolutely amazing. I love the ending that I add on to it. So hopefully you all enjoyed it. Now let's watch. What if RWBY was transported to My Hero? What twists and what surprises will we see? What if RWBY was transported to My Hero? As RWBY was falling from Volume 8 as she had fallen into the abyss, which teleported her to My Hero on top of an air conditioning unit. as she starts to wake up as the air from the air conditioning unit starts to blow in her face, causing her hair to flap. As she's like, oh, as her eyes start to twitch open. Oh, where am I? As she feels the breeze of the air conditioning unit as it's quite warm. As she looks around, she knows she's on top of a building. As she gets up and goes to a railing, as she notices a fire off into the distance. This is where she would use her semblance, as she would just seemingly go above and on top of a rooftop. As she had turned into rose petals and all that. As the rose petals would fly down the street, some people would see them, notice them, but it was too chaos because of the panic of the fire. As she had run to the edge of that top of the building she was on to see the fire and see people in strange costumes and civilians looking at, as this was no fire. It was a hero versus villain fight. Some villain has caused chaos, as the heroes are doing their best to contain this villain with a destructive, explosive quark. His head is literally a bomb, as everything he touches explodes. As the man is causing chaos through the city, as RWBY notices this, as she prepares Crescent Rose, she aims at the person. Again, she has no idea who these people are, where she is. She assumes this person is most likely a Grimm. But just to make sure, because she has no idea where she's at, but sees strange people, she loads the electric dust. As she fires her sniper rifle, which hits the guy dead center chest, causing him to electrocute before sending him into a building, before debris falls on the guy, knocking him out. Also, the guy was about to self-destruct, by the way, the fuse was going down his head. She stopped that. As she noticed the heroes are, arresting him. As she is still very confused. Where am I? How did I get here? And why did that person have a bomb as a head? As she's currently evaluating her surroundings. She has no idea what's happening. As then suddenly, 2 more fires would appear around the city. Now, RWBY, being a huntress, started to go towards them. As she would use her semblance to go around the buildings, move at top speeds, very fast. As I would say, RWBY is as fast as probably Ingenium. As she got to this next fire, as all it was just a simple fire, just a fire. So she made her way to the third site. This site had a group of villains causing chaos. Now, the heroes are currently in 3 different places. First, putting out the fire in the first incident, and putting out the fire in the second incident. Now, these guys are robbing some big stores in the area. As RWBY jumps down in front of them, as one of the guys scoffs, "So, a little girl trying to play hero. Why don't you turn around and go home?" As RWBY then would use Crescent Rose before basically cutting the man's hand, before hitting him in the stomach, sending him flying back. As one of the guys that had like a seemingly big and looked kind of like a pufferfish, throws his hand, which has spikes on it, towards RWBY, as she would swing Crescent Rose, as the back of the scythe hilt would hit the guy's hand, redirecting it into the pavement. As RWBY would swing her scythe, cutting the man in the stomach, sending him flying back. As the 2 other guys run up, one holding a knife, and the other just transforming his hand into, a blunt object, like a bat. As they both swing at RWBY, as she just shoots her weapon before swinging it, hitting both of the villains with the back side of the scythe, sending them flying into the store. As she goes over to the storekeep and apologizes. "Sorry for breaking your window." As the guy is just happy that he's not robbed. "Thank you, young miss." As they'd shake hands before RWBY would know a siren says, "I probably should get out of here." As she would just turn to rose petals and just flee the scene of the crime. As the police would evacuate. As a few detectives are on scene and all that, they're arresting the villain group. Just some low thugs that thought they could rob a few stores to make some good bucks. As the guy goes to ask the store owner, "Excuse me, could you tell me who stopped these people?" Some girl, about teenage year. She was helping and she, well, basically stopped me from getting robbed. She returned the items that they stole and the money, and took down these four single-handedly. Thank you. Could you tell me what she looked like, or what her quirk was? Well, she turned into rose petals, and she had a weapon, like a scythe. As the detective is writing all this down. Wait, like a scythe, you say? Yes. But when she fled, she turned into rose petals. As now, them just assuming her quirk was roses. So the guy wrote down quirk, roses. They got no detail on Ruby. And there was no security cameras, so they never caught her. As Ruby is currently roaming the city, and she decided to put her scarf and wrap it around herself, and hide Crescent Rose. As she has no idea where she is, as this doesn't seem like the world of RWBY, as she knows people have strange heads, strange quirks. She doesn't know their quirks, but still, strange features. As she would walk around before bumping into somebody, as she would apologize, sorry. As the man's like, "Oh, it's all right, miss. Could you tell me where I am?" You're just in this city." And then, could you tell me what that is? As she points at a guy with like a wooden head quirk. "Oh, that's a quirk." As she would ask, "A quirk?" "Yes, everyone has them. In fact, mine is," as he just shoots some water from his hands, "a water quirk. I can shoot some water out of his hands." "Oh, well, thank you." As she laughs before leaving, "Quirks, where am I?" As she would start wandering around. But apparently, she wasn't the only one that came to this world. As someone is on a building just seemingly watching her. "Found you." As he just vanishes from sight. As we go back to Ruby, who's roaming the streets, looking for, well, anything that can give her any information. As she doesn't want to really ask people because she is way too close to the crime scene, that where the detectives are. And Ruby can be smart, and she will obey the law, of course. But her not knowing the laws of this world, she is very confused. And the first thing on her mind is to find her team, Yang, Blake, and Weiss. They don't know if they made it to this world either. As she starts going around asking if they've seen, well, Blake, Yang, or Weiss. No one has fit the description. People try to answer her question. Now, as she's roaming around, one of the people that got the description noticed her in a street. As the guy runs over to try to question her, as Ruby knows the police officer, she starts to book it out of there. Because what she did, she doesn't know, is illegal. She doesn't know this person, so she starts running. As the person follows her, as someone from a rooftop noticed this, as he starts to follow them, as Ruby just simply uses her quirk after turning a corner and gets onto a rooftop. And then she would notice someone had threw a scarf towards her, as she ducked, nearly dodging it. Impressive. As she would turn around, "You're just a kid. What are you doing out here?" As Ruby looks at, "Who are you?" As she grabs Crescent Rose before, well, turning it into a scythe, as Aizawa is shocked. "Easy, we don't have to fight, kid." "Where am I exactly?" "You're in such a city," as he explains again. "I need you to come in with me. You currently used your quirk, and that's illegal." Quirk? As, again, Ruby doesn't understand the quirks. As she tilts her head, "I have no idea what you're talking about." As this causes Aizawa by surprise. "Quirks, everyone has one." "I have talked to people. I have no idea what these quirks are." As she points Crescent Rose at, well, Aizawa. "Listen, I will explain. Just put your weapon away." as he has his eyes red to, like, disable her quirk, but RWBY's semblance is not a quirk. As, well, this ends up turning into a fight, as RWBY attempts to get away by, jumping, as Aizawa threw a scarf as she swings Crescent Rose, but surprisingly, it doesn't break the fabric, although it does leave a scratch mark. As she just gets, well, pulled back onto the rooftop. As she would shoot Crescent Rose, spinning it to get enough momentum to actually cut the rope that Aizawa uses for his scarf. As she prepares to fight, as Aizawa goes in for hand-to-hand combat, as RWBY swings her scythe, as Aizawa is nearly evading it, as RWBY is swinging at high speeds where Aizawa can barely keep up. As she then just drops Crescent Rose in her other hand before socking Aizawa in the face. Listen, I don't know what you're talking about. Listen, I'm a hero. As she hears the word hero, hero? Like a hunter? As this confuses Aizawa. As he decides to play along. Yes, a hunter. As she then lowers her scythe. My apologies. I'm simply looking for my friends. I woke up here. As this causes Aizawa to, well, glare a little as he's confused. Woke up? Yes, I woke up a couple blocks back. I'm currently trying to figure out where I am. Last I remember, I was at Atlas. As Aizawa hears that, Atlas? There's not a place around here named Atlas, as he says. Then where am I? As she's about to answer or reveal some more information, she then falls unconscious as some gas had approached the area. Thanks for your help, Midnight. As Midnight just appeared, no problem. I thought you could use some assistance. And that is the end of part 1 of What If RWBY Was Transported to My Hero. Make sure to like and subscribe for more. Now to part 2. What if RWBY was transported to My Hero, part 2. As RWBY wakes up, well, in an investigation room. As her hands are cuffed to the table, as she sits in a chair, there's a table and another chair, a one-way mirror, and a door. Crescent Rose is not on her back. She immediately starts to look around for Crescent Rose. As the detective walks in, as Aizawa, Nezu, and Midnight are watching through the one-way mirror. So why did you call me here, Aizawa? Take a look, as basically Nezu gets on Aizawa's shoulder and looks at RWBY. A teenager? What is she doing here? She used her quirk and stopped some crime. I caught her on top of a building thanks to the help of Midnight. No problem, Aizawa. What was odd is I tried to erase her quirk. She didn't use it at all. She used that weapon. As she's referring to Crescent Rose, which is in its sniper form, on the table, right behind them. As the investigator starts to talk to RWBY. Alright, let's start this off simple. As RWBY asks, why am I tied up? Well, you broke a law, or 3 of them actually, 2, 3. What laws did I break? Well, you used your quirk, you fought crime and property damage. Excuse me? I was simply stopping people that were doing evil or bad things. Yes, as much as we appreciate you helping out, it is still illegal. And again, what is it with the people talking about quirks? Do you not know what a quirk is? No. As this is the detective with the lie detecting quirk. I can just never pronounce his name correctly. As it says true. Alright, let's just start off with your name. My name's Ruby Rose. True. Alright. Why did you attack those villains? I was simply just stopping them from doing harm. True. What's your quirk? Again, I don't know what a quirk is. I don't have one. True. As the detective gets up for a moment, if you'll excuse me, I'll be right back. As the detective walks out, as Aizawa hears this, ask her where she came from. Why do that? One, when I talked to her, she said she woke up on a building. She talked about hunters and Atlas. That was about the only thing she told or information I got out of her before midnight knocked her out. Alright, why don't you come in there with me and we'll discuss. As Nezu and, Aizawa and the detective go in, Nezu sits there and watches with Midnight. As Ruby notices Eraserhead, oh, you're the guy that was fighting me on the rooftop. Yes. First of all, I would like to know, where are you from? Aizawa asks. I'm from, well, I don't know where Ruby actually lives, unfortunately, in Remnant, so I'm just going to say she came from Atlas. I came from Atlas. Where's that? Atlas? In Remnant? As both of them look confused. This is Japan. As Ruby looks confused. Japan? Never heard of it before. What were the last things you remember? Aizawa asks. I was fighting with Cinder, and me and my team fell into the void. The next thing you know, I woke up on an air conditioning unit. True. She's telling the truth. Again, what is it with y'all and these quarks? As Aizawa explains, everyone here has a quark. Apparently, you're not from here. That's obvious. I don't even know any of you. Like, I can understand if it's like faunuses. As then this catches the detective and Aizawa's attention. Faunuses? Yes, people that have animal features. They're called faunuses. As the detective notes this down, can you tell me anything else? We have semblances. Go on. It's basically a power each individual has. As she would basically start explaining stuff from Remnant. The Grimm, Salem, Ozpin, not telling the full truth about Ozpin or Salem, just gave a brief description, because there are secrets that should not be revealed, and that are meant to keep secret, that what Ozpin told them anyway. As they finish the investigation, as they walk out back to Nezu, as they are talking through the one-way mirror, she's obviously not from this world. By the estimates, none of these facts make any sense. She could have been hit by a quark and she thinks that she's someone else. It's not too far off a possibility. Yes, but this stuff is way too detailed, like she's lived it through her entire life. Yes, also, if she was hit with a quark, there would have been at least some investigation or detail we would have discovered about it by now. Especially with your incredible investigation, detective. Thank you, Nezu. So what should we do, Nezu? Well, we should obviously bring this girl to UA. We'll try to, let her live here. Provide her a new home and give her detailed information. She could possibly be a good hero. Also, I would like to know more about the semblance she talks about. She also mentioned something about aura, didn't she? Yes, she did, but she just briefly stated that. Also, what are these creatures that she mentioned? Grimm. People or things that feed on fear. Apparently, in wherever she came from, they're common. And that the hunters and huntresses act like heroes. It's a possibility that she is not of this, dimension. We can't be certain. The detective says, "After all, there are quarks that can cause amnesia, people to see other things. I've seen it before in my line of work. Only a handful of times, though. But we cannot deduct that as a possibility. This could also be a side effect of her quark. For all we know, she could just be hallucinating. She could have all just been a dream that she's trapped in. After all, you don't remember about that villain that we heard about several years back? That change and alter the minds of the people's dreams, making them reality, forgetting who they were, and replacing it with a different life. Style, pretty much. You don't remember that villain? He's locked up in prison. There's no worry about him. But we cannot rule out the possibility that she's not from another world. After all, quarks with, dimensions are still very rare and could be a possibility, although there has not been one accord to exist. The possibility is surely there. So you're telling me to believe the impossible. It is not impossible. We are in an age of quarks, and every quark is different. I guess you're so. For all we know, we don't know if 13's quark destroys stuff completely, or can simply just transport it. We know it can, technically kill a person, yes. But there's a theory with black holes that stuff gets sucked into it, goes somewhere entirely different. So we cannot rule out the possibility. Very well. And also, she kept asking me and Aizawa while we were in there, where's Crescent Rose? As she had been asking us for 5 minutes, and when we started asking what is Crescent Rose, we finally got an answer. Let me guess, it's her weapon. As both Aizawa and the detective's jaws just dropped, how did you figure that out? Ah, simple. It has it on the weapon. As he points at the name on the weapon, as both of them just slap themselves in the face. Yes, you probably should have investigated the weapon before talking to her. My apologies. Anyway, go let her out. Why don't you talk to her first, to give her the rundown of the information? Very well. As the door would open and Nezu walks in alone, as he crawls onto the chair. Who are you? Hello, Miss Rose. As his head is just... He's standing in the chair and his head is just above the table. My name is Nezu. I run a school for students and future heroes. I understand you're not from, our world. As Ruby tilts her head. You see, there is a theory that you came from another world. The Grimm, the Hunters, the Semblance, all that does not exist here. As Ruby is just in a shock state. But we can always try to research a way to find a way for you to return. Have you come across anyone else? As Nezu basically tilts his head. Anyone else? Yes, people that came from the same place. Yang, Blake, Weiss. Unfortunately, you're the first person we've encountered. Oh, as Ruby tilts her head down. But we'll send a search team to search for them. If they're here, we'll find them. I promise that. Thank you, as Ruby says. How would you like a place to stay until we can organize this whole world displacement, or how you got here? You said you fell into a void. Yes, I was fighting Cinder. So basically a villain from your world, if I'm correct. You could say that, yes. Cinder worked for Salem. Salem? Can you give me a brief description? She's from my world, and she's basically controls the Grimm. Ah, the creatures you were talking about. I got a brief rundown from the detective. Yes. Well, you're happy to know that there's no such creatures here. Very well. Do you have any sorts of powers? You mentioned of a semblance. Yes. Her semblance turns her into rose petals. I'm not sure what else it does. As basically she moves really fast, gives a brief description of her semblance. Alright, we can pass that by a quark in this world. We are going to keep all your information top secret. Because we cannot just let people know that, well, people from other worlds can arrive. Very well. Although, could you give me a description of each of your associates? Teammates. Yes, as she gives Nezu a brief description of Yang, Blake, Weiss. Why, thank you very much. Now, without further ado, as Nezu just leans over the table and uncuffs RWBY. Thank you. Don't worry, you can come with me back to UA. We can set you in a dorm. And you can be one of Aizawa's students. As all you hear is a bang on the window. As Aizawa was not informed about this. What was that? Oh, nothing. Oh, you mean the one-way mirror. As Nezu's shocked that she knew that. A one-way mirror. How could you tell? Oh, she could see Aizawa, Midnight, and Crescent Rose in the room. How did she see this, you may ask? I'm just chalking it up to an extra power I'm giving the Silver Eyes. She did not tell anything about the Silver Eyes, by the way. As they walk out of the room, as they enter the room with Aizawa, Midnight, and the detective. Alright, shall we get going? Nezu, you never told me anything about this. No. Now we need to head back to UA. As about, I would say, 2 hours pass as they arrive at the front of UA. As RWBY gets out of the car, as Crescent Rose is on her back, she is not letting them keep Crescent Rose. Wow, this place is huge. Yes, this is a school after all. It kind of reminds me of Beacon. Beacon? As Nezu takes an interest. It was the school I went to for becoming a hunter, or a huntress. As I saw what Midnight and Nezu start walking through the halls, please tell me, what were these huntress and hunters like? They hunted the Grim. They kept them at bay, protecting everyone. So these Grim would attack towns, civilians. Yes. And you hunters kept them from doing that. Correct, we kept the peace. I see. You are still young, though. Yes, I'm actually the youngest student to ever be enrolled in Beacon. Really, I never would have guessed. As they are walking the halls of UA, now I'll be taking you straight to the dorm. As Nezu would lead RWBY to the dorm. Do you have anything else you'd like to share with me? If you could tell me about these heroes you'll talk about. Are they like the heroes, or like the hunters and huntresses? Yes, but we don't kill our villains, you see. Well, the things I fight weren't really human. Yes, I'm very aware of that. They were monsters by the sounds of it. You can use Crescent Rose to immobilize the villains you encounter. Now, by the sounds of it, you have quite a bit of combat experience. Yes, I probably could have taken down him, as she points to Aizawa. Aizawa, could you tell me about how would you fare in a battle against her? She's obviously skilled. She cut my scarf pretty quickly, and she moved very fast. I could barely keep up with her. Yes, I was trying not to go full out, because I didn't know anything about this. I have no idea who you are, I didn't know who anyone was. I was very confused. I still am. Don't worry. We will be enrolled into Class 1A. 1A? Yes, it's the class of Aizawa. Now, unfortunately, you'd be intending about a month late, So after the events of the USJ. So please go to your room. You can design it however you like. As Ruby would go to her room. I still don't think this is a wise idea. Well, we can't just let her out there. She has no relatives. We don't know if all of what she's saying is true, although the detective did not sense that she was lying at all. Do you really think she's from another world? It is a possibility, after all. We live in a world of quarks. It wouldn't be so far-fetched if there was one that could bring other people from another dimension. As we go outside UA, as someone was looking through binoculars as Nezu, Aizawa, Midnight, and Ruby had walked into the dorms. Keep playing your role, Ruby Rose. Soon, you'll be part of a bigger plan. As he puts the binoculars away before jumping off the building, out of view. And that's the end of part 2 of What If Ruby Was Transported to My Hero. Make sure to like and subscribe. Now on to part 3. What if Ruby was transported to my hero? First day in UA. As Ruby's right outside the classroom. Okay, Ruby, calm down. You're just gonna make a few new friends, understand how this world works more. Possibly find a way back home. But until now, you're just gonna have to go right back through school. Just calm down. As we go to Aizawa in the classroom. Alright, class, listen up. Today you'll have a new student. As Ida raises his hand. But sir, we're already about a quarter of a semester in. Is it odd for us to get a new student this time? Well, this is a special case. She's a transfer student, so hopefully you'll treat her well. You may come in, Rose. Referring to her last name. As Ruby would enter the room before walking to the front. Hello, I am Ruby Rose. Alright, your seat is right over there. As she goes to take her seat, as people are whispering, talking about Ruby, as Ruby, hears some of the whispering, as the class period goes as planned, until lunchtime, where Ruby and the rest of class 1A goes to lunch. As Ruby's sitting by herself, Mina decides to go talk to her. So you're the new girl. As Ruby looks at her, yes, nice to meet you. The name's Mina. Ruby. Nice to meet you, Ruby. So, why did you come to UA? I was supposed to go to UA. As flashback to Aizawa and Ruby talking. Alright, as we cannot tell the students where you actually came from, we're still looking into that. We have come up with a fake one you'll use for the time being. You're a transfer student from America who just happens to know Japanese. That is about all we have on you. So that is going to be it. Everything else, you're just going to have to make up yourself. Alright, good luck as Aizawa enters the class to go introduce her. I am from America. America? Not many students come from America. What brought you to Japan? My parents just thought that they would send me to a very good hero school, that's all. Oh. Well, that's nice. So, question. As Mia is about to say something as Ochako arrives. Hello. You're the new girl. Nice to meet you. I'm Ochako Uraraka. As Ruby would shake Ochako's hand. Nice to meet you, too. As a few other people introduce themselves. Momo, Juro, Sue. As they start having a conversation. So, what's your quirk? Momo asks. Another flashback, but this time to Nezu's office. As for now, we're going to deem your quirk as rose petals, which is your semblance, right? Yes, it is. That will be your quirk for this, as we cannot tell anyone about, say, your world and about the information we obtained. So please go along. Even if you're very confused, we just cannot let information out of another world that people are suddenly being dropped into. For all we know, you're the only one for now. We don't know if there are others. So make sure to keep this a secret. As Ruby nods her head, as the flashback ends. My quirk is rose petals. I can basically turn into roses, or well, rose petals, and move very fast. So like a speed quirk. Yes, you could say that. I use my weapon to help take down, well, bad guys. Crescent Rose. Crescent Rose? Yes, my weapon. And she just pulls out her sniper rifle. Whoa, cool. As, well, Mina goes to touch it, as Ruby then just stops her. Why did you stop me? You probably shouldn't press that button. As she would put it back on her back, as they would talk about, well, classes and all that. As then Ruby decides to ask, why did y'all come to UA? Oh, well, of course, to be heroes. Also, all of them go for their different reasons. Momo, recommendations, I assume from parents. Ochako needs the money to help her family. Sue wanted to become a hero. I don't know, just become a hero. And some other regular, interesting examples of why they wanted to join UA. As then, Ruby decides to get up as she noticed the time. Well, we better get back to class. As she's heading back to class with everyone. And I'm just going to skip the class period time, and we're going to go to the end of the day, to where Kirishima and the rest of Class 1A decide to chit-chat with Ruby. So, I heard from Mina that you were from America. Yes. What is it like over there? As now Ruby has to make some stuff on the spot. As she's thinking, as then Aizawa would quickly interrupt. Remember, you must have these assignments due by tomorrow. As, of course, all of them had handed out an assignment. Well, I better go off and go do that. As she stutters, just a little bit, before leaving. As Izuku would notice this, as she was in a hurry. As Izuku would go talk to something like Kirishima and all that, is it me or did she look like she was in a hurry? I wonder where she's going. I don't know. As then Mina gets an idea, why don't we follow her? No, as Mina's already gone. So, Kirishima, Izuku, well, Juro, and I'll throw in Momo, because why not, to follow Mina to try to stop her. As Mina sees Ruby entering Nezu's office. Ooh. As Mina gets to the door, as then the rest of her classmates show up and stop her. Mina, you shouldn't be up here. So, as they hear Nezu's voice, so, Rose, have you enjoyed your first day of class? Yes, the people here are nice. But everything's so confusing. Understandable, especially from your circumstances. As they can hear this, because the door is cracked. Now, is there anything that you would like to notice me on? Question. Will there be anything I will need to participate in for the next, well, say week or so? Well, the sports festival is right around the corner. So, I will have to say yes. Alright. Why do you ask? I was planning to do more research about, you know. Ah, yes. Alright, how about this? Wednesday of this week, you can have the day off. I will ask Aizawa. After all, you got in here by special circumstances. And I do plan to help you with your problem. As Izuku Juro hears this, And all them, problem? As someone else also hears this. Anyway, you just go back to your dorm for now, Rose. After all, you do have that assignment from Aizawa. Oh, about that, as she sets the assignment on, well, the desk. And I'm just going to say this assignment was easy math work. RWBY, I would say, is quite smart, as she had put the assignment on his desk. Oh, you're already done with it. Yes, I finished it on the way here. It was actually quite easy. As she smiles before, well, heading to the door, as this is when the class 1A hides. As Zuku thinks, problem? What's her problem then? I don't know. Maybe we should ask her, Mina says. I don't think we should get involved, Momo says. As they start contemplating, RWBY is already gone and is currently walking in the dorm. As she would see Tokiyami sitting on the couch watching TV, the invisible girl walking around, Bakugo in the kitchen, Shoji just working out, I don't know, lifting some dumbbells or whatever, and Ida just simply making something to eat. As she heads to her room, she opens the door as then she notices something. As it's a note. As she opens up the letter of the note, it looks like you made it here safe. And then she immediately looks around before reading the rest of the note. Welcome, Ruby Rose. Now remember to keep your eye out, because not everything is as it seems. As RWBY does not know what to take it. She's very confused about this letter, as then she goes out to ask, as Bakugo's walking by, excuse me, did anyone enter my room? As Bakugo's like, how am I supposed to know? As he just walks away. As she would then go, well, to ask a few other students, as no one had put the letter in her room. As she's very confused about this letter. Well, I guess I should prepare. As a day or two would go by, as it's Wednesday, as she gathers her things before, well, leaving UA to try to look for Yang, Blake, Weiss, or anyone else that could have ended up here. Or even John. As she would just walk around, just simply looking, seeing if she can find any information about, well, the others. As she would spend the whole day searching. And yet every move she made, every alleyway, every person she asked questions, she was being monitored by someone. As RWBY was walking back, as then suddenly she vaguely dodges like a small white syringe of some sort that passed by her face. As she looks at it, before looking back in the direction where it assumingly came from, as no one was there. As she picks up the syringe, which had a note on it, Hunt. As she then looks around, what is this? As RWBY would make it back to UA, as she would tell Nezu about the letter and this little syringe she found, as, very interesting. It seems we weren't the only ones that noticed you arriving, or at least where you're from. There's possible that there's someone else. Nezu says, how can you be so sure? One, take a look at this. The word hunt, yeah? I think someone's been keeping an eye on you ever since you arrived. Just a theory, though. As RWBY looks down, that is a possibility. Especially if they're, well, from Salem or Remnant. But I've got no idea who it could be. It's only a theory again. Or it could be a villain that just took interest, or even a vigilante or another hero that's just keeping an eye. I cannot pinpoint down which one. Most likely someone from our world has taken notice of you. And when you arrived, maybe the villain that brought you here. And it would explain quite a lot. Well, thank you. Don't worry, I'll look into it. It's quite late. Why don't you head back to the dorm? As Ruby would go back to the dorm, as the next day would proceed, with the only difference was the announce of the sports festival, which of course the people that would crowd the hall in front of Class 1A to scope out the competition, Ruby would just turn to petals and fly right on over all of them, and just rose petals would just drop in front of them. And she would basically just do that to the dorms. As she's on her way back, she looks in a direction and sees a black hat, but it just vanishes. As she blinks, just thinking it was nothing. That was close, as a mysterious person had gotten down and hid behind a tree. And this person's quite tall. Can't let her find me yet. I need to see how things play out. And it's not time for us to meet. And it's not time, as a small syringe comes out of his hand for the hunt to end. And that is the end of part 3. Make sure to like and subscribe for more. And let's move on to part 4. What if Ruby was transported to my hero, the sports festival? As Ruby was called to Nezu's office. As Ruby enters, you called me, Nezu. Yes, Ruby. We are having the sports festival, and because you came in late, I'll let you decide if you want to compete. But first, we've never really gotten a recollection of your skills. So I would like for you to fight Aizawa. You want me to fight my teacher to prove my skills? Yes. And again, it is your choice if you want to participate in the sports festival. As she agrees to these terms. As they go to a training ground and the teachers decide to observe this match. Just the teachers, no one else. As Aizawa staying on one end and Ruby on the other. Ready to fight. Alright, so when do we start? Now, as Aizawa sends his scarf, as Ruby dodges at a very quick rate. As she pulls out Crescent Rose into its scythe form, and rushes towards Aizawa. Aizawa rushes forward, dodging the swing of the scythe and going to punch Ruby in the stomach, as Ruby redirects one of her hands and has the scythe down and spins herself upward, and hitting Aizawa in the head with the hand she had moved. And then she swings around the scythe that's indented into the ground to hit Aizawa in the stomach, sending him backwards. As Aizawa recovers, Ruby uses her semblance to move very fast to where Aizawa can't keep up, and she uses several rounds of dust electricity to shock Aizawa to unconsciousness. As Aizawa falls over, as Nezu and the other teachers are absolutely shocked, she took out Aizawa very quickly. All Might says, yes, really quickly. I was expecting such a young student able to take down Aizawa. He's very skilled in hand-to-hand combat. It might have turned out differently if she didn't use her weapon. Might have. Well, her skills are phenomenal, so we'll have her participate in the sports festival. She already told me she would. Is it a wise idea having a new student? Not even a month into the year, or school year at least. Participate? I feel like it would be unfair to the other students to let her compete. Were you A? No matter what the student, you have a choice to participate in the sports festival. As some teachers agree, some teachers disagree, just because it kind of feels like they would be giving her special treatment. But they inevitably decide to let her compete. As the day of the sports festival is going on, and, well, RWBY is among Class 1A waiting. Bakugo gives his speech, which after that makes pretty much everyone outside Class 1A their enemy. Like, Bakugo basically ruined Class 1A from teaming up with anyone they don't know. Literally. Just kind of ruined any chance of team up with any other class. So Bakugo really didn't help at all. The only person that was willing to help Class 1A that wasn't in Class 1A was someone from the support course, Mei Hatsume. But we get on to the first, which is basically the race. I never remember what that one's called, but the race around basically the stadium. First to make it back, it's like 10,000 points for the next round. So as it immediately whistle is blown, RWBY immediately goes full speed with her rose petals and flies over everyone, avoiding Shoto's early attempts to freeze everyone in the ice way. Which was a smart move on Shoto. I gotta admit, that was a strategist and a very good move. Just, his classmates were able to avoid it, and a lot of other students as well. So, currently, at a speed, none of Class 1A can catch up to the heights of RWBY. RWBY is just too fast. So she makes it to the 0-pointers first. As she's surprised about these big machines, because she knew nothing about the sports festival going into it. All that note was like a game or events. She thought it was going to be similar to their world, or her world at least, to where it's going to be kind of like a fighting tournament. Kind of is, kind of isn't. But anyway, as she flies towards the 0-pointers, as she immediately pulls out Crescent Rose before really just decapitating one of them, as the head flies, well, off and lands directly, perfectly, straight up on the ground, which surprises a lot of students that just arrived. Now, of course, Shoto will freeze the robots for a moment before letting them attack the other students. And RWBY absolutely dominates when it comes to the strings, the big hole in the ground where students have to basically crawl through or climb through strings on strings to get across. And then she's already made it to the landmine while everyone's stuck on that. As RWBY attempts to step, a landmine explodes. The training landmines anyway. As she is sent back a bit. As she's surprised, they've got landmines. As she would then focus and get ready for a really high speed. Now this is when Shoto, Bakugo, and a few other people started to arrive, as RWBY was contemplating what to do. As she basically goes super speed, like the fastest she's ever done, avoiding all the landmines before they go off. Also, ruining Bakugo's run just a little bit, because the explosions all condensed up and going off simultaneously create a big explosion which kind of sent Bakugo back a bit. But anyway, she got first place in the, race. And now on to the cavalry battle. Now, for this, I'm actually going to have her team up with Izuku. So we are not having Mei Hatsume in the finale. Like, I know, she's like a side character that I feel like should not be in this, so I'm just going to replace her for this one. I'll probably use her again in another story. And basically, how this one goes off pretty well. Also, none of them have discovered her silver eyes just yet. So basically, they won, as in canon, first place. I'm not really going to go into the description of that for the practical battle, group battle. We're just going to go straight on to the 1v1s. Now, most of them go on as canon. Now, for Mina, I believe her first opponent was Ida. Tenya Ida. So, a battle between speed. As, of course, Ida was observing that RWBY had speed. So, assuming that's her quirk with the rose petals, that she moved really fast. Both of them start zooming around the arena. Now, Ida can be seen, but RWBY is kind of condensed into the rose petals going around. As swings of, well, she couldn't use crescent rose, so fists would be going back and forth. Ida trying to use his reciprocal burst to try to kick RWBY. As RWBY would just quickly evade it before punching Ida in the chest, doing a little bit of knockback, but not much. As she would move around several times faster. As Ida, wearing his armor and all that, goes for a kick on RWBY. As RWBY would look Ida in the eyes before her silver eyes would glow up just a little, causing Ida to be blinded just a bit by the brightness. No one else notices, by the way. As RWBY kicks Ida, sending him flying out of the arena. And now, Ida fought, I believe, the girl with the hair as vines. Also, the rest of the fights went as canon. Now, for this fight, RWBY actually struggles. Not as much. She basically does the same thing Ida did to her in her fight. But she struggled a little bit because she managed to get an attack off early. But she easily evaded it. And this is where I'm not sure who. Oh, I remember. Ida went against Shoto. So it's Shoto versus RWBY. So Shoto using his ice, trying to freeze RWBY in place. As RWBY's speed and all that cannot just be frozen, kind of like how Ida's was. So she moves around, causing Ida a lot of trouble. As she gets up close, punching Todoroki in the face, sending him back a bit. But he sends more ice towards her as she simply evades it before kicking Shoto, sending him back a bit. As Shoto raises his hand and uses fire towards RWBY, causing her to be shocked, although she did observe in the fight between Izuku Midoriya and Shoto that he had a fire quirk as well. As she nearly evades it, simply just headbutting Shoto's stomach, causing him to go back a bit. As he's holding his stomach, RWBY takes the chance to uppercut him out of the arena. Now on to the final battle. Bakugo versus RWBY. Now before we get into this one, we must take a look to the top of the stadium, as someone is watching. It seems you're improving. You're adapting to this world. Yes, keep on adapting. As he then looks at a date on like a piece of paper. Because soon, I'll have to hunt you out of this world. And eliminate you. After all, you don't match up to the timeline. Or even supposed to be here. I've just been enjoying the hunt. Letting you wander around. Let you learn your surroundings. It's more fun that way when you watch your prey, so confused, try to figure things out. And I can't wait for the biggest bombshell of all. As now, back to the fight between Bakugo and RWBY. Now this one, Bakugo uses his explosions to send explosions towards RWBY, as RWBY would use her speed to evade. But Bakugo, who's been watching and observing RWBY's fight, as he's been, trying to figure out how her quirk works. as he blasts to the middle of Ruby's rose petals. As Ruby had basically moved down to the side just a little bit, as it scraped her shoulder. As Ruby rushes towards Bakugo, as he releases a huge explosion, as we see that Ruby used her scarf to take the brunt of the explosion, so she's not there, surprising Bakugo as she hits him with an uppercut before punching him in the gut and then roundhouse kicking him in the head into the concrete. As Bakugo explodes the concrete and spins around to punch Ruby, as Ruby just lifts her chin and goes backwards a little bit before kicking Bakugo, sending him flying back to the edge of the arena, as he managed to stop himself with a good-timed explosion. "You'll pay for that," as he would then rush over at her. "Die!" As he would basically throw a huge explosion, causing Ruby to be caught off guard, but she raised her, left hand to take the brunt of the explosion, breaking the, fabric off her arm. As she would then spin around to kick Bakugo, as he ducks, as he goes to punch Ruby. As Ruby sees this, turns into rose petals before basically going backwards. As Ruby would open her silver eyes a bit. "Wait, no, I shouldn't use those. I can't reveal it." As she's thinking, Bakugo takes the chance to rush at Ruby to throw an explosion at her. And as she's in thought, causes Ruby to be caught off guard, as she's pushed back, as Bakugo smiles, as she attempts to, go after Bakugo, as then the words are heard, "Bakugo Katsuki wins," as Ruby looks confused, as one of her legs are out of the arena. And that's how Bakugo managed to win, by sheer luck. As Ruby is leaving the arena, as the man on the roof is getting a bit impatient. "Why did I have a time delay on hunting you? Stupid person that orders me around." As the man just simply disappears, out of view. Now, Ruby was a bit shocked that she was caught off guard, but then again, she never had to fight in a restricted area pretty much before. Well, I guess you could say the dome where they trained their aura. Also, aura did stop several of the explosions from damaging her, but wasn't really useful when she has to focus on a high velocity attacks, and she can't really recharge her aura in between all the rounds, because I don't know how long it takes to recharge aura. Now as we go to Ruby, who is a little bit disappointed that she didn't win, but was more caught off guard is that when she took a step back and looked down, she immediately looked back up and noticed that same figure that she thought she saw a while back, but she blinked and the guy was gone. So she's trying to think, who's that person? I believe I'm being followed. I told Nezu, but something doesn't feel right. Now a few days would pass, and of course the internships would come out. And the internships, several heroes definitely went for all the students of Class 1A. Now, Ruby gets a hero, and I'm just going to say Aizawa takes her as his internship, because basically there's information about her that does not need to be relayed to anyone outside UA, faculty, and the detective that interrogate her. So hopefully y'all liked part 4. Let's move on to part 5 and the final finale of the What If RWBY Was Transported to My Hero. Make sure to like and subscribe for more. To My Hero, the last part, the poacher. We begin this with RWBY with Aizawa as they're making their way to Hosu. So Aizawa, yes RWBY, can I tell you something? Sure. From where I came from, I feel a eerie remnant of it. What do you mean? Like, I don't know how to say it. You know where I feel like the aura of people, of living things. She explained a bit about her aura to them. I sense aura here, and I sense that someone has been following me. Or at least something, I'm not sure. When did this start? Around the time I left the interrogation room. Basically the interrogation building, the police station. Something's been following me. I'm pretty sure of it, or something. I don't know why, but I can sense its aura. We'll look into it. But we're gonna go patrol in Hosu. Alright? Very well. As they make their way to Hosu, as they travel around, then they hear, a message from Shoto, who obviously went to go save Ida and all that. The explosion of the Nomu happened. As RWBY goes to help, she knows something before stopping. As she looks up at a building, as a figure is standing there. As RWBY decides to follow it, as she gets on top of the building, as the creature is standing right next to the water tank, as he looks around, as she grabs her scythe, a Grim. Well, well, well. It looks like you finally noticed me. You can talk? Of course. Did Salem send you? No, I don't work for Salem. But I am here to eliminate you. As he stretches out his long hand and just throws it towards her. As she ducks down, as she shoots several bullets that were supposed to hit the poacher but hit the water container instead, as he had just sidestepped the bullets. Now, don't you want to know how you ended up in this world? As RWBY still has her scythe ready. What do you mean? You weren't supposed to end up here. You were a byproduct of a teleportation. You were supposed to land somewhere else. You were never supposed to land here. And my boss makes sure to eliminate all the other RWBY variants that disobey that rule. Currently, you're not the only one. But don't worry, I'll make your death quick, and I'll bring back your scythe as a trophy. I'm known as the Poacher. As he stretches his hand, several little syringes comes from his shorter hand, shooting towards RWBY. As RWBY swings her scythe, blocking most, but gets hit in the shoulder. Yes, little small fragments, barely noticeable to the naked eye. But it seems you noticed them quite quickly. Gotta give you credit for that. As her arm then goes limp, as she drops Crescent Rose. What happened? Yes. As the Grim looks at his claw hand, stretching his 4 fingers, I can shoot out little darts, you see. I let you have a message earlier, saying hunt, to let you know that you are being hunted. And also, these little syringes has a toxic effect. It immobilizes anyone that is struck by them. Very useful. As the Grim starts walking towards RWBY, I have a job to do. And trust me, I am here to eliminate you from existence. As he lifts up his hand with the claw, as he swings it down, as RWBY evades to the left, leaving a crater in the side of the building from where the Grim had swung his arm. Okay. We can have a bit more fun. After all, the Grim looks off in the distance, seeing the fire. No one's gonna notice you're gone with the chaos the LOV is doing in this timeline. The LOV? The League of Villains, if you haven't heard. I was informed of them myself. But this is really my first assignment. Second, if you count the other timeline that was a failure, but still, it was a successful mission on my part. As RWBY doesn't know what the Grim is talking about, as then she barely managed to duck and avoid as his hand had just struck the where she was standing. As she noticed Crescent Rose on the other side of the building, as the poacher picks it up with his hand. Interesting weapon. I should be used to fighting you by now. But each version is different, as he simply tosses the scythe off the building. As RWBY tries to go into the rose petal form, seen that trick once already, as the clawed arm wraps around her neck before throwing her straight into the water container, breaking it as water starts pouring out. Yeah, you thought I would let you go. As her neck is bleeding a bit from the little spikes on his long hand that had wrapped around her neck and threw her into the water container. I can't let you live, you see. My boss would be very mad at me, and I can't disappoint the boss. And if I somehow fail, more will come to eliminate you. As he stretches out his hand, ready to send several little syringes towards RWBY's face, as then the Grimm gets punted by a kick in the face, sending it to hit a side of a building before falling into an alleyway, as Aizawa had come to help. As he goes over to RWBY, "Are you alright?" As she checks on RWBY before going to look down the alleyways, the Grimm is gone. He got away. As RWBY loses consciousness, as her neck is bleeding, the back of her head is bleeding, her arm is just immobilized for at least a time. As she gets rushed to the hospital, and as she's getting rushed to the hospital, a Grimm, the same Grimm the poacher, is watching from a building. Go ahead. Nowhere's safe for her to hide, after all. You may have noticed me this time. Next time you won't be so lucky. If I wasn't to refrain from killing anyone from this universe, I would have eliminated you. As the Grimm just vanishes. As RWBY was taken to a hospital, as her wounds were being treated. Also, this poacher has a special ability that bypasses aura. Hence, how she was injured and the blades hit her. The reason it's named the Poacher. As RWBY wakes up several hours later, conveniently next to the beds of Ida, Midoriya, Shoto, but they get an entirely different conversation from the detective as Aizawa comes in to question. RWBY, what was that? As RWBY gets up, as she speaks very hardly, a Grimm. A Grimm? That creature you talked about. Yes. Apparently it was ordered to kill me. As she's speaking softly, as her throat is a bit hurt from, well, where the Grimm attacked. I don't know why, but I don't think it will just stop at this. You're lucky I showed up, as I should be fine if I recover. As Aizawa and, of course, the rest of the students would be released with minor injuries and all that. As they had left, as RWBY looks towards the window, as the poacher's just sitting at the windowsill. You thought you could escape me. As RWBY reaches to grab Crescent Rose, but Crescent Rose isn't there. You really think I would let your weapon sit by your side? I'm a professional. As he aims his arm that shoots the syringes out towards her head, as then RWBY uses her silver eyes, which the Grimm raises its arm as the arm turns to stone as the Grimm falls out the window. As, of course, the commotion of a window shattering causes some people to come in to check up on RWBY. As we go to another building, as the Grimm has lost its arm. You know how long it takes to regenerate? Stupid girl. You're only delaying your inevitable demise. As it looks at its stoned arm, which broke off, as he severed it. What was that? I wasn't informed that she had any other powers. All but her semblance. Why? Was I tricked? No, the boss would not lie to me. He wants them eliminated at all cost. As then someone appears. As it happens to be Shigaraki and Kurogiri. We noticed you were hanging after one of the students. As the poacher simply glares at Shigaraki and, well, Kurogiri. Before it closes its eyes and just simply vanishes out of view of the, well, Shigaraki and Kurogiri, which were trying to convince the poacher to join their side, but he just vanished. As the poacher is in, like, some sort of, like, high tower, as it's leaning against some metal, as its arms start to slowly regenerate. I better not fail, or else. As it looks at its almost fully regenerated arm, just you wait. As a matter of a few days would pass, as the events of the training and all that to go to the training camp would happen. Now, on the way to the training camp, the poacher would follow the bus, obviously, where RWBY was on. Although it's injured, it still follows because it has a mission to complete. As Class 1A starts to question how RWBY got her injuries on the bus. I was attacked by a villain, she would say. It must have been a strong villain if it managed to keep up with you, Bakugo said. What was its quirk? I don't know. It could shoot syringes that could paralyze a person. It shot my arm and I dropped Crescent Rose, and its speed was quite fast. Possibly a speed quirk or even a projectile quirk, maybe. Poison, maybe? As Izuku is writing this down in a notebook. As the poacher is watching from a distance as it's running along the mountainside, simply looking through the bus. If that Izuku Midoriya figures out any weaknesses on me and tells RWBY this could be a lot harder to defeat her. I have to take her down as soon as she's alone. No interferences this time. As then the Grim stops as a number appears. One more chance. Great. Now I have one more chance to Why did I waste my time on playing with my prey? This is what I get. As the Grim follows RWBY to the training camp. Now, of course, he would wait, like, a few more days to where they do, like, the round around where the LOV attacks. Now, because they're all separated, the poacher takes his time and waits as RWBY, well, had just gotten to Kota and starts fighting Muscular. As the poacher's on top of the mountain watching as Muscular increases his fabric to punch RWBY, as RWBY just simply dives down, lifts her scythe, cutting the fabric, but not cutting through, well, Muscular, sending him back, as she would shoot several, well, bolts, electric bolts, and also with the help of Izuku, defeated Muscular. Except Izuku is not as badly injured as Canon in this one because RWBY came and helped. But when, well, Izuku left with Kota, RWBY said, "Come down, I know you're watching." As the poacher simply just drops from the top of the mountain and lands behind RWBY. Why wait? If you knew I was here, you could have asked your friend to help. They would only get in the way. I know you're stronger than him. Smart estimate, but you still could have told him to get back up. But I do appreciate you making this easier for me. As she points Crescent Rose, I won't fail this time. Sure you will. As the poacher rushes towards RWBY, swinging its long arm, as she would use Crescent rose to deflect his arm, shoot bullets towards the poacher, which would dodge, before trying to shoot some projectiles of his own, which RWBY would use her semblance to go around before shooting, well, Crescent Rose, hitting the Grim in the shoulder. As it swings its long arm, kind of like a whip in the air, trying to hit RWBY. As RWBY lands back before ducking, as when its arm hit the rock, it absolutely shattered several pieces of rock, causing like a sort of like avalanche. As rocks came coming down, as the poacher seemingly swings its arm, destroying the debris, as then RWBY would come straight out of the debris and slice off its long arm. As the poacher shoots several projectiles at RWBY. You think this will stop me? As then RWBY uses her silver eyes, which covers a wide varying area. As the Grim's entire body is turned to stone, as only its head, as it had managed to somehow stop it. Who sent you? I can't give up who sent me. But I will tell you something. You kill me, you go back to the original timeline you're supposed to go to. And you know I can't stay in this world or I'll cause as much havoc as, well, you know. Just tell me who sent you. Can't do that. As then suddenly, RWBY would shatter the Grim's body. As the Grim was falling, as RWBY, well, basically shot her sniper before slicing the poacher's head several ways. Basically into pieces. As RWBY sighs, okay, that's over. As she looked down, as that portal had opened up, and as she fell through. And that is the end of What If RWBY Was Transported to My Hero. Make sure to like and subscribe for more. Bonus episode from after What If RWBY Was Transported to My Hero. I failed! As the Grim had seemingly regenerated, but at a very different place. Welcome back, Poacher. As he looks back, it seems like you died. Welcome back to the Forest of Grim. No need to compliment yourselves. You failed on your mission. And I thought you were going to get another trophy for your collection. 'Cause didn't you kill at least 2 rubies from alternate timelines already? Neither of them had that power that she had. At least she didn't know of it in those timelines. Yeah. Let us handle the next job. After all, your failure has upset the boss. As he swings towards this, well, seemingly Grim, as apparently another one just grabs its long whip. Really now, did you forget there was 2 of us? The mercenary Grim brothers. What do you want? You didn't come here to gloat on my failure, did you? Of course not. We're here saying we got the next job. The next job? Yes, the next alternate timeline for RWBY is approaching soon. And we've been in charge to eliminate that variant at all cost. You failed. You're just lucky you were able to respawn here. The Grim Forest, thanks to our boss, recreates us every time after we die. So you got lucky. And you better hope that the next, assignment you get put on, you don't fail. After all, you're now on thin ice after your failure with this one. I simply played with my prey a little too much. That's all. So what? You failed, didn't you? Let us take it. Yeah. After all, we already have a few rubies dealt with. And a certain other character. So we'll take it on from here. As they would basically seemingly disappear like vanishing like wind. As the poacher hits the tree with its arm. I can't believe I failed. I let my guard down. I should have created a countermeasure for whatever that was when I got attacked by it in the hospital. What exactly was it? As then a voice is heard. That was the Silver Eyes. The Silver Eyes? Yes, it's meant to eliminate creatures like us. As the poacher looks around. Boss, is that you? Yes. Now be a good Grim and prepare for your next assignment. You better not disappoint. As the voice vanishes. As it hits a tree once again. Great. At least I got some information on what took me out. The next time I won't fail. And that's the end of the bonus episode. Hopefully y'all enjoyed round 6. Now the battle that will decide the winner will be released not tomorrow, but the day after. So hopefully y'all enjoyed the what ifs of what if Master Chief crashed in RWBY, and what if RWBY was transported to My Hero. Make sure to like, subscribe, and tell me your thoughts on which one you liked the most. My opinion, I liked the Master Chief, but I felt like when coming up with the two stories, I have to lean towards more of the what if RWBY was transported to My Hero. Only because of the fact that when adding and thinking of this, I added, well, the Poacher, which was a character that really, when coming up with, was intriguing. I liked it, and the fact that a whole organization, essentially, of Grimm are hunting different timelines of stories of RWBY exist. So tell me your thoughts. What other story for RWBY will these mercenary Grimm brothers take? Anyway, make sure to like, subscribe. Hopefully you'll love the round 6 tournament for the What If tournament season 1. Season 2 probably next year. Hopefully you'll enjoy.